Hello and welcome to AntipoDnD, a show in which we imagine what our opening title would sound like in a minor key. I am David. I am not the Dungeon Master for tonight's game. I am a fellow player with Kynwyn, April and Zindi. Our Dungeon Master for tonight continues to be Doug, who is leading us through this exciting spin-off adventure, as one of our viewers phrased it, which I guess is probably the best term for what we're doing at the moment. A little spin-off, a short interlude before coming back to our regular campaign that I will be running again soon. We are a bunch of a different bunch of ragtag misfits trying to, well, basically we're on an espionage mission for the Coruscant Academy in the evil empire known as the Tarthian, well, the Ascendancy of Tarth, or the Tarthian Ascendancy. And since my words are falling apart, I'm going to hand us all over to Doug. Doug.
Wonderful. So the story so far, you have been assembled from whatever prison, whatever dungeon you were held in, somewhere in Gold, and sent out on a suicide quest to basically, exactly as David was saying, collect whatever information you can on the teleportation circles that Tarth uses to move people, soldiers, vast amounts of material, because that's a technology that only Tarth has, and nobody else has quite been able to crack that particular nut yet. And so, Dreams of Contentment, Dreams of Peace, Sergei, and you have all banded together with Glelb Nosebite, the goblin mage who is with you. You've managed to get to Port Thresh, which is on the southern end of the Ascendancy of Tarth, the island that that constitutes the Ascendancy, and you have just managed to free Ties That Bind, a member of the local Defiance, because they're not quite strong enough to be a resistance yet, who has given you your papers so that you can get into a teleportation circle and off to start with the 9 points, a little, effectively a hub, a station that everybody sort of passes through on their way through Tarth if they're using teleportation circles, and eventually, if you so desire, on to Tarthus, the capital city itself. You have just had a good night's sleep somewhere in between murdering a wood elf and a reasonably well-built South African gentleman.
A good night's murder.
Two's
who
not
was
a bad
then
score.
Consumed by Sergei, I think. The South African guy, at least, was. The wood elf is just dead in an alley somewhere.
Oh, and I forgot to mention last week that at some point during all of this, you would have reached into a pocket, pulled out, had gone through a pack of cards and picked one, placed it on the body of the Ascended, and anybody who looks would have noticed that it has the common letter U scrawled on it.
Oh my god, he's got a calling card?
Yes. But I will add...
Much he loves killing.
I will add, before Doug decides to use this against me, you has a habit of stealing cards from any deck that he finds, just one card from any deck that he finds, scrawling on it, and then giving it away, so that they're not really associated with him, so that if anybody tries to find the owner of where the card came from, hopefully it'll go back to the original owner. That's the theory.
They're not like handwriting analysts. to add flavour as well, I will point out that Sergei doesn't prefer elves because they taste like glitter and regret.
Seems entirely fair.
I mean, he'll still try a new one if he sees it, but he's not been impressed. He's not been impressed so far.
It gives hangover.
No, just kind of weird mouthfeel.
I feel
that's
like
fair. Poor aftertaste.
High elves would have a hint of honey, whereas wood elves would be just kind of smoked, a little smoky.
You reckon? I don't know. I think wood elves might have like juniper going on.
Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it probably depends on the region. Anyway.
This is true. Different varietals of elf for Sergei to sample, but he doesn't seem to like any of them, so that's fair.
Well, so far he hasn't found one that he really liked.
It's fair. Alrighty. But that being the case, you have had a good night's sleep after killing these two people, and you have woken up in the morning. Actually, is anyone a light sleeper?
I mean, the cats probably are.
Not
Probably
when in a
twins,
food
yeah.
coma.
I have a passive perception of 20, if that counts.
I think we both have the alert feat too.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, you do.
I have the
Let's
alert feat.
say then that pretty much everybody except for Sergey is indeed a bit of a light sleeper, or at least wakes up when there's noise.
Look, Sergey, if he's had something to eat, is pretty difficult to wake up. That's how he ended up in jail.
It's true. It's true. So Sergey, you sleep through this. You don't notice it at all. But you and the Dream Twins notice just a little bit of a ruckus. Nothing close, but there is a bit of noise down towards the arena in the middle of the night.
Okay.
Oh, in the middle of the night.
So from outside the window, we're hearing this.
Yeah, basically, you guys are in like the bunkhouse, which basically faces the wall that leads into the ascended area of town. So you're not going to see anything through the window, but you are hearing just sort of very faintly, effectively up the stairwell.
Okay.
Just a little bit of a ruckus.
You
I
is
wonder
just
why
going
there
to.
would possibly be chaos at the arena tonight.
You
after
is
we
just
go
going
there.
to ear to the window just to try and get a better sense of what it's about. Could it spill over this way?
Sure. Roll perception. Let's see what you got.
What do you hear?
Hydra eating everyone.
That's an 18.
Yeah, a lot of
18.
slaves somehow got a whole lot of lockpicks from somewhere.
Yeah, there's lots of feet moving around. It's not like one or two really big sets of feet. It's lots of little feet and lots of like, I don't know, it's an 18. I mean, that's pretty good. Lots of bare feet and then lots of like heavily armored boots thumping around.
Cool. You is just going to smile and head back to bed.
Wonderful. Cool. I assume just ignoring the question. Which is fun. I enjoy that.
That's fine. Suppose I could listen, but I don't care.
He's a rude one, he is.
He is.
Entirely fair. So, fast forwarding ever so slightly, because I don't want to role play like 8 hours of sleep, you wake up feeling refreshed and ready to go. And Glelb is also up and moving around. He's already downstairs by the time you guys get downstairs. He's kind of eating breakfast, a little bit sort of Mandalorian style, taking little bites of things and like shoving them under his mask, given that he's not allowed to take it off while he's outside.
This
Keep
is
murdering
the
people
way.
while he's asleep. I wonder if he's going to catch on.
Yeah, do you reckon he notices all the people that we've been murdering, or do you think he's actually quite a thickie?
I mean, I feels like we're pretty good at hiding bodies.
We are very sneaky.
Sergey in the background belches.
Technically, they are allowed to take their masks off, but it's a question of whether they think you deserve to see their face. And most Ascended would say, nah, you're not worthy.
Yeah, and Glelb is trying to avoid being readily identified later on, so is playing that for all it's worth and throwing little like lots of finger food in the Ascendancy for exactly this reason, so that you can just sort of
Charcuterie.
You still has, for now, the appearance of Izard, and has pocketed the black mask that he collected the night before. That they collected the night before.
Yep. Just for future reference, that one will let you cast the Explodey glyph for free.
Ooh.
The exploding glyph.
Exploding runes.
And I did attune
Basically.
to it overnight, so basically
Yes, you
slept
did.
with
You
the
did say
mask
that,
on
so.
and then sneezed it off in the morning.
Perfect.
Sneezed.
Glelb is like, as he's sitting down and eating, is like is keen to get going, but if you guys want to have breakfast or do anything else, he's happy to wait before you go stand in line for transportation.
Oh, I want to eat some of those tiny cakes.
Yeah, I like little fingers foods.
I think more people should have tiny foods.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, quick breakfast, but you is keen to get moving.
Sergey's good. He's
He ate.
Sergey has consumed.
He filled up the night before on junk.
Yeah.
Indeed, filled up on cheese. Yes, cool. Alrighty then. Well, in that case, let's not roleplay breakfast. You have breakfast. It's fine. It's nice. Lots of little finger food, and it's all designed for Ascendeds, so it's nice enough. But it is also outside the proper Ascended section of town, so it's trying to be nice, but doesn't quite get all the way to fancy finger food. But as you step outside, there's already a line sort of starting to form at the gateway to the Ascended sort of quarter. But as you walk out, can everybody roll a perception check for me? Let's see what people get. See what people see
Percepti.
in the aftermath.
12.
Oh, nat 20, baby, for 24.
Nice.
Total is 16.
Oh, 17 actually. I had to do some maths.
Yes, because you are proficient in perception and therefore go to a 10 automatically.
So I
is
have
fun.
that Patericus bullshit.
You do. It's the good bullshit to have.
Uh-huh.
Cool. So, Dreams of Contentment, you particularly notice that there are a lot of guards sort of missing from the wall and down towards the arena. I mean, everybody sort of notices this because you all rolled over 10. You probably don't see much more than that. There's just guards floating or guards wandering around, sort of securing prisoners, wrestling people down and that sort of stuff, manhandling people back into cells, confiscating a bunch of lockpicks, being like, how the hell did they get all of these? But Contentment in particular, what you notice is there is a single figure, not even walking, floating through sort of the middle of everything. Not like high off the ground, just like enough off the ground that the skirt of their robe brushes around rather than looking like there are feet under it moving it.
Oi, sis,
Hmm?
look at that guy.
Oh,
He's not even
It-
touching the ground, isn't he?
that's not how you walk.
Oi,
And
you're magic. You ever seen anything like that before?
Yeah, what's going on there?
Oh, probably a wizard.
seems fair. And it turns around so that you can see its face at some point during its sort of float around the area of investigation. And the face is a blank porcelain mask. So not the ivory mask you would be used to seeing in an Ascendant, a low-ranking Ascendant,
Oh, no.
but
We
purely
creepy.
blank porcelain. No eye slits, no mouth slit, nothing.
We very creepy.
It's a bit
Oh.
spooky, isn't it?
It is. Is it a ghost?
Yeah, it's like in that house we knocked over back in Tal Ra.
Oh, ain't it that? Oh, it's like the ghost of a vase.
Yeah, I don't want to get involved in any of that.
No,
Yes,
absolutely
perhaps we should make sure we get in line quickly.
Better
Yes,
not let
so-
anyone know that you gave them all those lockpicks.
not. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even have any lockpicks.
Me neither.
Anymore.
That's crazy.
You can see this.
Yeah,
As you're saying this, you can see you clasps the chain around their neck. You feel like it looks like they're thinking of casting a spell, but they resist the temptation.
Entirely fair. And as long as the line is, it doesn't take you terribly long to get through into the Ascended Quarter because these are still Ascended who are waiting to be transported, so they're not going to slow you down with terribly much bureaucracy. It's maybe a little bit slower than normal because they're checking papers ever so slightly more thoroughly, but not enough to actually dare question an Ascended who's out on business. So you get in without too much trouble, and before terribly long, well, actually, as you get in, you see Vokai's palace mansion thing, which takes up most of the quarter, and a covered walkway which goes straight over to the Port Thresh Panopticon.
Okay. Well, this is once we're inside, you is going to take out a notepad and a pen, maybe charcoal, something easily portable, and walk up to Glelb and say to Glelb, keep muttering to me as if you're giving me instructions. And you is preparing to basically draw or copy anything that looks relevant, especially any circle designs and runes.
Oh, so clever.
But, while maintaining the guise of looking like he's just writing down whatever Glelb is saying.
Cool. Glelb goes, talk crazy. Yes, I can do that. And just like stands in a corner somewhere and starts declaring, the square root of rope is string. Tense of surgeons general is surgeons de general. And is just going like slightly crazy at this point and enjoying it immensely. But once again, you guys have an allotted time to be transported, and it's not terribly long until that time arrives and you're ready to go over to the Panopticon and be transported. And just as you're about to step into the Panopticon itself to be transported, one of the guards puts a hand up and goes, "Hold."
We hold.
What's the problem?
Yep.
What's going on?
So
Wait here, please.
Sergey looms in place.
Cool. As you're waiting, you hear a few voices from behind you, and you hear, "Kalahar's been gone for months, and now finally he's back, and we're just meant to attend." And as you turn around, it's the bugbear who's talking,
Oh,
the one in
God.
black wraps who was the assassin from
Ah.
before.
The big
Mm.
guy.
Uh-huh.
Who's he
And
talking
walking,
to?
yes, walking next to him is Yuzok, arena
Hmm.
champion, who
Ah.
says,
Scary.
"That's all well and good, but I don't see why I have to come along too." And next to him is the Goliath woman,
Oh,
the gunslinger,
all our
The
friends.
whole crew.
The
who
gang's all here.
indeed, who points out our boss has to project strength when she goes to visit the Supreme Archmage Kalahar upon his glorious return. Do you want her to do that without her arena champion? Yuzok sort of grumbles and doesn't have anything to say about that. But of course, behind all three of them, Supreme Ascended Vokai, Supreme Ascended of Trade for the Tarthian Ascendancy, is being carried along on her little litter by her 3 full-blooded orcs. And you guys are basically being stalled so that they can use the teleportation circle first.
That's fair.
Right, so we don't have to fight them right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, not right now.
You is going to be very submissive, but we'll follow Glob's lead if Glob has other plans.
Globe
It
is
should
still
be noted
ranting
that
a little bit.
The Peace Twins are muttering properly to each other. They're not
Yeah.
they're not being loud because they
No,
they
not
both
again.
saw the turtles
Okay.
eat that
If
head.
Globe hasn't noticed them, you is going to try and sort of subtly suggest we should step aside.
Globe continues ranting, but gives the impression that he clocked them, and if he stops ranting now, that may cause problems. So he bows, but continues to sort of mutter under his breath.
Peace might say a little bit loudly enough to hear, "Oh, I'm such a fan," toward the turtle.
It's hard to tell because turtle faces are difficult to read, but there might be a smirk on Yuzok's face as he plods past. You both, however, get death stares from the Goliath.
Oh, sorry, ma'am.
But not specifically entirely directed at you. It's like she's looking for someone else who was in your party but is now not.
Phew. Oh.
But she has
That's a
clocked that
relief.
you're transporting today. And there are lots of dogs in this section, apparently. But that is, so they walk into the Panopticon entirely undercover on account of the fact that there's that covered walkway between Vokai's palace and the Panopticon. And eventually they are ready to teleport. A couple of servitors come in, carrying crates of stuff as well, which you suspect are Vokai's tribute to the Supreme Archmage. But that's basically it. Now, do you want to try and get a peek of what happens when people teleport, or are you going to remain submissively distant and go from there?
You want a look at this.
Okay.
Peace is intrigued.
If peace goes, contentment will go too.
There's kind of like a this way and then a this way.
Mhm. Yeah, they're just going to peek out from behind you.
Actually, is this worth a 7th level spell?
There's a sentence.
Nice to have 7th level spell.
No, because it is not worth a 7th level spell. You's just going to try to look.
Save that for when we get caught trying to do this and we have to fight all of the most evil people in the city.
Quiet, you. You're not helping.
Seems entirely fair. Everybody roll stealth checks for me who's going to try and get a peek. And also, you notice.
Actually,
Sergey's going
we get
to continue
advantage.
to loom with Globe.
pass
23.
Pass without a
do we get
trace.
advantage?
Pass without trace, which will give you plus 10.
Me and you get advantage because when we're moving less than half our walking speed, we get advantage on stealth.
So glad that you read these things.
Yeah. So you, let me just
28.
Actually, no. Sorry, no pass without a trace. It has verbal, somatic, and material.
Yeah, I was
components.
gonna say,
It'd be
don't do
a bit
that.
too obvious, I think. So
28! A twinsies.
Whew.
Yay.
25.
25. Everybody is doing well. And you're not doing anything particularly illegal at this point. You're just kind of wandering a bit closer to the entrance to the building. The guard is eyeing you suspiciously, but not enough to actually pick up on what you're trying to do. And as you look, Vokai and her party arrange themselves in the middle of a circle that's carved into the floor, and a collection of various... They don't look like they're particularly high level. It looks like, in fact, it's mostly... what's the middle rank? Adepts. And one or two ascendants with their plain ivory masks standing around the circle, and it looks like their entire job is just to cast teleport. They are the drivers, effectively, for this whole thing. And so they cast enough teleports at enough levels to transport Vokai, Yuzok, and the other two whose names you don't know yet, and all of their gear away, and they disappear in a puff of magic.
It's easy enough.
Yeah.
And the one casting does not teleport with them.
Correct.
Yeah, which is unusual for the teleports spell.
Yes, because normally they would teleport out with them, but no, they have managed to stay put somehow.
I don't see what the drama is. Why is it so hard for Gould or whatever to do it? Not Gould. Where are we from? Talraj.
Yeah, I mean, we're from both.
That's true.
I don't understand why the man with the tits can't do this. He seemed quite magic-y.
He's grand and powerful behind the curtain. Why couldn't he do it?
Yu's going to explain, because David, the Dungeon Master, also wants to explain. My understanding is that even the most proficient of mages cannot cast the teleport spell without some risk of misadventure. The circles of the Ascendancy allow us to teleport with absolute certainty.
Right. So what's the drama?
Yeah, so why can't they do it on their own? Like, what's so special about these Tarth people?
What's wrong with a little bit of misadventure?
Because it
no,
can...
I think it's because they cut you in half.
It could kill you.
Oh, well, lots of things can kill you, you know?
Yeah.
Yes, but... Alright, it's hard to argue with that point.
But, like, why does old Poncy Pants have to steal it? Like, why can't he just, like, invent it on his own? Is he admitting that he's not smart enough?
Once again,
he's not
you can see you gripping the chain, thinking of casting a spell.
As this conversation goes on, the guard waves you into the Panopticon after a suitable amount of time to allow your the people in front of you to clear off the pad in wherever you're going. And Glel continues to mutter. And you eventually you stand in the circle.
You is trying to draw down an exact copy of this circle, all of the runes, everything about it.
Are you proficient with writing shit?
I don't think there's a skill for that, believe it or not.
Did you pass your pen license in full?
You got a quill license? Yeah.
I think I want to call it investigation, which is actually not good for me. Or...
Are you investigating if you're transcribing, though?
In fact, let's make it Arcana, and we'll see what you can deduce and sort of...
Oh, yeah, can you draw
make sure
symbols
that you can get the important stuff right.
I am better at that.
And Glel will also Arcana.
That's
because this is actually his thing.
Yeah, that's just a 13 for me.
Cool. Let's just have a look at how Glel goes. As you're looking around, there is not terribly much about this room that makes it particularly different, except for carvings in the floor and a bunch of wizards standing around you looking a bit funny.
Gold inlay in this circle, is it like in any way valuable looking?
No inlay, interestingly. It's just stone.
Okay, well then peace isn't fucking looking.
Is it like stone parquetry, like actually inlay stone, or is it just carved?
Well, anyone who wants to figure out anything that's not magic about the circles, roll investigation for me.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sorry, my other character cares about rocks.
Contentment will have a look.
Investigation, you said?
Yes. While you're doing that,
Nat 20
Glelb-
again.
Glelb immediately sort of pipes up and goes, "My facts are not defective. They are in fact wholly accurate and very interesting." And he pulls out his notebook and starts writing furiously as though he has something really important to write down in his notebook.
Okay.
You what?
Gleb's clever. I
you-
rolled a 1.
As soon as your
32.
Glelb does that, you is going to lean in and basically cross-check what Glelb is writing, and of course with the guise of, "Oh, what did I get wrong? I'm so sorry, my master."
Indeed. Well, Glelb rolled a 23 on his Arcana check, so he has a lot of information now about how this circle was put
He
together.
knows. He knows what the fuck.
And in fact, Contentment, with your 32, you notice this too. It looks like the stone was carved individually and then inlaid together.
Okay.
So it's not like the stone was all laid and then the circle was carved in later. Wherever they were making quarrying the stone from, they were carving it in before they put it in. Which means that you need some really precise stonework, right, to line up all of those stones correctly, or else if anything's out of line, it's a wrong rune and everything goes to shit. Contentment, you also notice with an at 20, there's something worked into the cut lines of the stone. It's not
Gee, I
anything
wonder what
particularly
that
valuable.
could be.
What was that? Sorry, DM?
So it's not particularly, like, it's not a precious mineral or anything like that, or it doesn't look like it, or even if it is, it's like, it's effectively glitter, right? Like, it's small enough to not be worth trying to lift. But there is something worked into the cut lines of these teleportation circles.
Is it red?
He's gonna.
Interestingly, it's not red.
Not red.
It's just
What
sort
color
of
is it?
sparkly. Just sort of
I was
sparkly.
like, it's red lyrium. That's not this game.
I was also thinking red lyrium. Wait.
It's not quite big
Contentment
enough to
will-
pick out major colors, but it's shiny.
Contentment will point it out to his sister.
Oh yeah.
It's
And now
sparkly.
Contentment, Peace will take a closer look now that she has been pointed to it.
Cool.
What am I rolling again?
Investigation, if you want to have a proper look. Sergey, you're standing in a room. That room has
Yep.
walls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Look.
There's a big circle on the floor.
Yeah, big
That's a-
circle.
Shapes.
That's a 24 for Peace.
To
Cool.
be fair, when
Um,
Izad said learn about circles, there was just a circle in Sergey's head, and he's like, right, look for circles.
Yep. He's like, I found one.
Yeah, there's one. There's a circle.
There's one here.
Doing my job.
Yeah, exactly. Sergey has rather helpfully pointed out that you're in fact standing in a circle. Peace, you notice much of the same sorts of things that the other guys are noticing. Nothing new with A24. But that is probably everything you're going to get out of this particular circle. And in fact, that's all the time you get with this particular circle, as the poor Ascendant who is running this whole thing goes, "Please remain perfectly still while we transport you. There's no risk of damage, but if you move and your hand hits your friend, you may end up joined, and we don't want that." And before you even have a chance to say anything, you are teleported.
I liked that edition.
Yeah.
Please keep hands and feet inside moving people.
And as we appear on the other circle, you is writing, "Don't move."
Perfect. So, in fact, if you're looking at your notebook, you almost don't notice you've been transported necessarily. I mean,
Yeah.
you probably still feel the magic, I guess, but there's like a bit of a jolt, and then you're in a room that looks super similar to the room you were just in.
Okay. You now wants to draw as accurate a copy as possible of this circle.
Sure, roll Arcana again.
Did it work then?
Yeah, so Sergey's comment was, did it work?
As you're asking that, there's another Ascendant on this side who says, "Please stand clear of the teleportation circle. There are lots of people we have to transport."
That's a 19
Right.
as you is trying to scribble while walking off the platform.
Wonderful. Cool. You get most of what's there. Glelb, you suspect, got the rest. He is very observantly checking stuff out.
Cool. You is
and-
going to, at any opportunity, going to try to copy exactly what Glelb put down. You wants to make sure we have 2 copies of this intel.
Perfect. So as you're doing that, he keeps looking at you and sort of muttering and says, "Iguanas can stay underwater for 28.7 minutes.
Is that true?
You says,
29.
"What's an iguana?" No, don't. That's irrelevant.
A fella named Iguana.
Yeah. Why, hold his breath for a while.
Isn't that like bird shit?
What?
What?
That's guano.
That's not even birds, that's spat.
That's different.
Yeah, no, Iguana, like, sells shit down the docks.
Yeah. Real tall guy. Missing an
Yeah.
eye.
Yeah.
I guess that means, yeah, he could hold his breath for a while, huh? He's always hanging around the docks.
Oh, he
As
probably
you're
just
talking,
goes swimming.
Glurb cuts in over the top and says, Genolton toothpaste was made with human urine. Urine as an ingredient in toothpaste continued to be used until 700 post-cataclysm. And
Is
just
he
walks off
right?
pointedly
Who's
out of the room.
Sergei follows. Still bodyguard.
And you follows and says to the twins, "Of course he's right. He's an ascended."
Oh, he's using the other use of right. I was using the colloquial, you know. Was he right in the head?
Yeah.
But that's fair enough. Yeah, no, let's follow him.
Cool. And so as you walk out of what is effectively another panopticon-looking sort of room or floor, you walk out into, again, a very similar-looking space, but even bigger.
Ah.
So it's probably about triple the size of the, what used to be the Providence Panopticon. And so it is just this absolutely massive echoing space with balconies and walkways going all the way up the top. It's quite high-leveled. You get the faint red glow of at least one crystal up the top. But at the bottom, there is another teleportation circle. And above that circle, there is a statue of Supreme Archmage Kalahar.
Does
What's
he
that
have
like
good
then?
tits?
Yeah, what's his tits like?
Kalahar is wearing the standard Tarthian robe, which is sadly less deeply V'd than Izid's chosen outfit.
Boo.
Typical.
Hey,
but
April,
here's
you designed it.
Fuck, you're right.
You designed them both, to be honest.
I'm mad at myself.
See, this is why the Wandering Isles are better. They have the freedom to show off your tits.
That's right.
So Kalahar is standing in he's a reasonably sort of vigorous looking humanoid, well muscled and that sort of stuff, but not excessively so. In his Tarthian robes, arms extended in invitation, conquest, something like that.
Jazz hands?
depends on the tilt of the hands, right? It's either come give me a hug or try and stop me.
Right, yeah.
Somewhere in between.
Is he
where
like
his
a
hands end up.
vampire in a Scooby-Doo cartoon?
Not quite.
Is it a
Tilted a little more
stone
than that.
statue?
It
or
is indeed a
metal?
stone statue.
What
It
makes
is
it
stone.
distinctively this guy and not every other fucking humanoid with a mask?
The thing that makes it distinctively
His
Supreme
name
Archmage
written on it.
Kalahar is, well, there is a little plaque at the bottom, but there is also, where the face would be, a mask. And that mask is pure platinum and shot through with veins of gold, silver, onyx, and ivory.
Oh, he's got
So
all of it going
the
on.
mask on the statue is made of pure platinum.
It is.
Wow.
That's expensive.
Very expensive.
How big is it?
It is serving tray sized.
Do you reckon that's like stuck on?
I mean, how permanently affixed could it be? It's not made of stone. It's completely
I mean,
different.
you got a
so
lockpick. That could basically be a chisel.
I could get that off, I reckon.
You says, who will you fence it to?
Oh, fucking anybody.
Jesus,
Are
he'd
you
love
kidding?
it.
Do you have any idea how many people back in Tal Raj would pay for something like this?
Also, just for the record, sometimes we keep shit 'cause we have ethics and pride.
That's
As
right.
you're
Sometimes
talking-
it's in front of it.
You notice a small army of servitors polishing and cleaning this statue and keeping it spotless. And one of those servitors drops the rag they're using to keep it clean, and a novitiate steps in and just starts lashing them with magic
Yep.
until they
okay.
effectively can't stand anymore, and two guards drag them off, and a new servitor is brought in to pick up the rag and keep going.
Right, so I can't sneak past that many people.
Oh,
No. Probably not. And in fact, between you at the moment are Vokai and her crew.
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
let's put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it. We'll come back later.
We'll circle back if there's time.
If there's chaos at some point, maybe we could just do a little smash and grab.
So
Yeah, if there's an opportunity.
you
That's all
says
I'm
to
saying.
you says to Globe, well, we're here. Where do we go now?
Sergei chuckling to himself, if there is chaos.
Like the way you
Globe sort
speak.
of
Yeah.
stops mid-rant and
You're
says,
a good egg.
well, any circle you can get notes on without upsetting anyone, do it. You take the left, I'll take the right. We'll see how we go.
Well, I've got a bit of an eidetic memory, so
Yeah, we're fine. We can just take a look at stuff.
cats don't
Good.
forget shit.
Go take a look at stuff.
All right.
Right, okay.
Make notes
We'll
if
do
you
a
can. Split up.
Oh.
And just as you're about to split up,
Split.
a voice cuts across this giant hall. Supreme Ascended Vokai, as I live and breathe. Is that you? Did they finally get you out of Port Thresh?
Colonel?
And Vokai just sighs. Supreme Ascended Longoria. What an honor. And a rake-thin guy comes in from one of the eastern teleportation circles. Also wearing the gold mask of a Supreme Ascended. And a little bolo tie.
Perfect.
He's from the West.
I love him or them.
An oil tycoon. I love him.
And so those two sort of start kind of bickering, kind of complimenting each other. If you
Look,
listen
they're
in, you get the
flirting.
impression
Yeah.
that Supreme Ascended Longoria is the overseer of Tarth's primary food production. So he oversees the rice fields and the servitors that tend it.
Rice. I thought it was gonna be
Indeed.
beef.
You is now looking at these two, and anyone who wants to, anyone who would make an insight check is on you would determine that they are hatching schemes, that they seem to be distracted from the mission at this point.
I see. Well, eventually, Longoria's bodyguard catches up to him. None of them are particularly as well fleshed out as Vokai's team, but they are a bunch of surly mercenary types with a varying ability.
They've clearly got health bars.
So you're saying
Yeah,
we
indeed.
shouldn't start a fight?
Well,
Yeah.
Supreme Ascended all have their teams, right? And so there are a lot of what you guys would judge even without having to roll insight checks, because use passive insight in particular is 20, are probably as good, if not slightly better than you at everything.
Right.
Valid.
Shall we take a turn about this massive fucking room?
Yeah,
brother.
he said look at stuff, but he didn't say what to look at. Technically.
Yeah, I guess he
so-
said look at everything, particularly
Circles.
anything circular.
Circles and things related to them.
So
All right.
Sergei is sort of dutifully following Glelb, and every now and then he'll sort of lean over and point out a geometric shape, whether it's like somebody's belt buckle or something, and say, circle.
You is going to make
Right.
make a show of going through the notebook,
Mhm.
but is going to surreptitiously try to listen to the conversation between the Supreme Ascendants and try and get the gist of where they're going.
Thing with 5 sides.
Cool. What's that going to be? Is that going to be what's eavesdropping? Roll for eavesdrop. Let's say
Probably stealth, because I'm trying to do it
Yeah.
surreptitiously.
let's say stealth as you're
Okay.
wandering around and checking notes.
19.
Okay, that means I've got to make some rolls for people. Nope, that is performance. That is the wrong thing. She doesn't need to roll that.
Yep, can't solve everything with performance, Vatericus.
That's a lie.
If
Well,
he
Yuzok
puts on
rolled
a
a
funny
2, so he
voice
doesn't
while
notice
he's
anything.
doing intimidating, it's a performance.
Ooh, interesting. 19, you say?
Yes?
The Goliath Gunslinger clocks you.
Ooh,
But-
yummy.
Let's just roll a quick insight for her. Rolled a natural 1 on the insight check to figure out what you're doing, so she clocks that you're wandering around nearby. notices that your robes are suspiciously similar to a tabaxi that she saw yesterday, but
Shop at the same boutique. Hot
does
topic.
nothing about it, indeed. And so as you're eavesdropping, you pick up very little, to be honest. They're just bantering back and forth, trading little witticisms and blows and stuff. But you do get the impression that they've all been summoned to Tarthus, along with a significant number of other Supreme Ascended who are either already there or will be there later.
Do I learn what building they will be in together?
Ascendancy Hall is sort of the only place they would go, and they both
Okay.
sort of talk about going there. And indeed, let me just go back to my notes. Supreme Ascended Longoria says, do you reckon this is about Cove of Fen? And Vokai replies with, well, I don't see how it's not. Surely she has to be held accountable for what she's done.
It's true.
I suspect the Supreme Archmage is
Idiots.
going to give us her head.
Our idiots probably wouldn't know this shit went down
No.
At this
because they
point,
were in jail at the time.
you is going to find Glelb and explain, I think I need to tail the Ascended, or the Ascendeds. Shall we arrange a place to meet?
Where are they going?
Ascendancy Hall or something like that. Apparently they're meeting with their leader. All of them.
Yo, finding out about that was part of the thing we had to do.
Well, look, I've looked around
yeah.
and I can't see the Providence Circle anywhere here. So we might have to go to Tarthus anyway.
Very well.
Our papers will get us that far, so let's go to Tarthus. And while we're there, we can drop in on Ascendancy Hall, assuming that they allow visitors. Let's find out.
As we're
Okay.
leaving.
What?
As we're leaving.
Yeah, we've been doing a lap of the building, like looking for circles.
Perfect. You find effectively 9 little offshoot sort of rooms, all the size of the Providence Panopticon, all of them with a teleportation circle in it, all leading to various points. There's one that goes off to Servitor Point, right at the north end of the building.
Can we roll for committing the circles to memory?
Sure. Let's make that.
There is a feat for a perfect memory, but neither of us have it.
No,
Perfect.
I think we just.
I love it.
I mean, we're largely bullshitting, but let's see if we can do it.
Yeah.
They're awful clever.
Just make it an
What do we
intelligence check then.
We've got
Sure.
eyes.
Yeah.
You do have eyes, that is true.
Can't be that hard.
Yeah, but so does Sergey, and he keeps rolling ones.
19!
Well, Peace rolled a 4.
Cool. So, Peace, you remember the general shape, and if you were pushed, you could probably draw a circle.
Mm-hmm.
Contentment, you remember a bit more. You remember some of the specific lines and stuff like that, and you get the impression as you're looking at different ones that there are like a little bit like a Stargate. There's different address runes carved into them that will link them to a different circle somewhere else.
Before we go back, Peace would like to mutter to Contentment. You reckon that you blokes preparing for Glelb to ditch us, right?
I mean, he seems to have his own agenda, but yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. Or for him to die.
Yeah, like following that logic. Because you seem to find us a little bit irritating, I'm picking up. Do you
Most
think we
people
should
do.
prepare for Glelb to ditch us and then you to ditch us?
Right, so do you think you'd be me, you, and the alligator?
Yeah, I quite like him.
I think he should come with us.
Yeah, he'd be a welcome member to our team.
I think
But,
so. All right.
I reckon we should maybe try and file away some of this information shit just in case we need a, skedaddle.
Yeah, look, I was planning on stealing that little goblin's book anyway.
Oh, yeah, nice.
You is hoping to get a minute alone in a private space. Does it look like we can move on to Tarthus immediately, or are we going to have to chill for a bit?
Are there bathrooms?
There are indeed bathrooms. You could jump into one of them if you wanted. At the very
Grab
least,
yourself a cheeky cubicle.
at the very least, Vokai and Longoria are going to be transported before you are to Tarthus. So you've got a bit of time.
Moment in the privy.
Okay. So you is going to excuse themselves and try to find a private bathroom stall. I'm hoping these aren't Roman-style latrines.
I was gonna ask, are we talking like, have we got porcelain, or have we got the squat? I mean, I suppose they're all got that Asian style. It might be the squat style.
Or do we all
Interestingly-
just shit in a pit?
Well, interestingly, I have it on good authority that wizards just shit on the floor and then magic
Oh
away. They're leaving.
yeah.
Yes,
Oh
that is
yeah,
true.
that
Yes.
was a vital
Right.
piece of information the world needed to know.
No, it is a little bit Roman style, but there's nobody in this little alcove at the time.
Okay. Well,
Smells delightful though.
in that case, you is going to cast Commune.
Okay.
Takes
Not commode.
No, it takes 1 minute to cast, and lasts for up to a minute after that. And I can ask 3 questions of my deity or a proxy or a divine proxy. So these will be directed at you's deity or the persona thereof. Who my ruling is they can, because it's my world and they're my deities, they can have some knowledge of things they don't immediately witness if a petitioner draws their attention to it, but they're not necessarily going to be able to see everything. So to some degree, it's up to you, Doug, whether there are answers for these questions. So you can give answers if you want to. It's as simple as that. Cool.
And honestly, probably quality of deity also would dictate quality of answer. And if you ask Brew and Luck about something really technical, that could be.
So the first question, they have to be yes or no questions. The first question is Glelb planning to betray us?
There's a pause as there's like a checking of information, and you get back a strong negative.
Okay. Is anyone else in the party planning to betray the party? Or parts thereof?
What a waste.
Light positive.
Okay. You does not know. Yeah, you does not know.
Only gonna
This.
do it if he does it first.
Yeah.
It's slight positive, not
Yeah.
full positive.
So it's not definitely. So you get the impression not definitely going to happen, but not.
Not off the cards.
Yeah, not entirely impossible.
Indeed, correct. Yeah. More probable than improbable.
Third question. Is there a circle to Providence in Tarthus?
Strong yes.
You is satisfied with these answers and returns to Globe and doesn't say anything about this. You is just content that they're headed on the right path.
Cool. Easy. Wonderful. Let's say in that minute or so, Vokai and Longoria have had time to transport with all of their gear and all of their sort of attendant people, their little trains. And so they have cleared out, and it's your turn to transport to Tarthus.
Cool.
As you do, there is a great ascended here in a black mask instead of the white masked guy out at Port Tarthus, who says, "Please don't move while being transported. If you move and you slap a friend in the face, you may end up conjoined. And before you can answer, you are teleported to Tarthus."
They've got a
Do you
real
think
speech
that has
there.
happened? Do you think that has happened before enough that they have to make it so specific as to say not to slap a friend in the face?
I mean, that would explain our cousin.
Do you think that they was using a transport circle in Tarth?
I mean, it's a better story than they was just born weird.
That's true.
As you arrive, you are directed off the transport circle and out into Tarthus proper. As you arrive, there's a bit of a weird sort of equilibrium shift as though you have suddenly changed altitude.
Ears pop.
Yeah, basically, your ears pop a little.
Oh, I don't like that.
Did not like that.
Indeed. Gleld in particular seems to be having a bit of trouble with it. His good ear seems to have cleared all right, but his bad ear
No, no.
is like having some trouble clearing, and so he's a bit. But he's been
Would you like
hearing all
us-
day, so he's all right.
Listing to the left a little bit, but otherwise.
Yeah.
Would you like us to hit you quite sharply on the side of the head, Master?
Yeah,
I would rather you didn't.
it helps.
Yu's entire head actually shifts slightly, just long enough to actually clear everything out, to normalize the pressure.
Fair. Yes, so you guys, as you walk out of the Tarthus panopticon, you realize you are very high up. So basically to either side of this panopticon, there is not quite a sheer drop, but there is significant cliffage leading down into seemingly nothing. You assume eventually ground, but it's going to take you a while to find out exactly where that is. So don't jump or fall.
This is where we so we've stepped into the concept art that April did, which is the intro for that. Actually, Cindy and Conran, have you seen that?
You showed us the picture. I didn't realize April had done it special.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's right. Yes, I did put it up. I'll put it up again anyway. But yes, April very kindly agreed to put that together based on my rather rough notes.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
It's fun.
Indeed. And so you see that this particular building has a red crystal hanging over the top of it. And then deeper into town, there is another building which also has a red crystal floating above it. And you suspect that is probably the Hall of the Ascended.
They have a real decor.
Or Ascendancy Hall.
They really like
They do
red
indeed.
crystal.
Mm.
They
Do they know
do
it's not
indeed.
welcoming?
Surely. Surely it's a feature.
Yeah. Just leaning into the whole evil thing.
I mean, from their perspective, they're probably not evil, isn't it?
True, but then why choose so much red? Traditionally quite an aggressive colour.
Why does a caged songbird sing, sister? We just don't have the answers to these questions.
As you're talking, an adept, so a like a mid-level wizard or a low-level wizard, comes up to you wearing a wooden mask and bows deeply
Wooden.
and says, "Welcome,
Comes up-
Master. How may I direct you today?" And as she stands up, there's a white periwinkle on her left breast.
Ah. So, do we all see this?
You do. She's not making an attempt to approach quietly.
Okay.
Sorry, did she come up to you or you as in us, the collective?
Sorry, the group.
Okay.
You or
The
you.
group. And
You
Glob
or
is still having a bit of trouble clearing his ear, and so he just like points generally to you guys and like keeps shaking his head and muttering
So
and passing it off as he's just crazy.
my character is going to say to this individual, Ascended DeSoto sends her regards.
Oh, yeah.
She will bow slightly again and say, "Best master I ever served."
And with that, Yu says, I don't suppose you know where the Circle to Providence is.
Well, you can't see the smile, but under her mask, she smiles and says, "As a matter of fact, I do.
Now, would you
This way,
kindly,
please."
would you kindly lead my master there? And I add, I assure you, he is, let me see. He
Completely
also
insane.
Quite safe.
He is also here under the authority of Ascended DeSoto.
She will slightly bow again and say, "This way, please. The Providence Circle has been an object of much study recently. No less than one or two Supreme Ascended have even taken an interest in it." And so she eventually leads you over. And you find you basically wind through town. You don't quite make it to Ascendancy Hall. But
Sorry.
bless you.
Allergies.
As
You're allergic to yourself.
I think I'm allergic to cat fur, yeah.
That is an unfortunate development.
As we walk, you is also going to just try and get a rough layout of the town, especially where are we in relation to Ascendancy Hall.
You're not terribly far away. The space you're moving towards looks like it's sort of an attendant wing on Ascendancy Hall, and it looks like, just from your exposure to Tarthian architecture over the last little while, there is space for a crystal to be up top, but there is not currently a crystal up top. As though that particular teleport circle is not active and not being used. But you can see that a reasonably short distance away, there are the sky docks where airships are coming and going, unloading cargo, unloading people, the people who don't transport circle here, the ones who are coming from elsewhere. And in fact, as you sort of wander past the sky docks, walking out from there off a incredibly gilded looking fancy ass airship, there is a halfling in a gold mask in some degree of powered leather armor.
Powered leather armor.
Wow.
So there's pistons and all sorts of shit, but
Wow.
also a small red crystal glowing at the center of their chest.
Have they got a whole lot of superfluous cogs everywhere, or are we more
Not so much
elegant?
little
cogs.
monocle.
They're into the piston aesthetic.
Okay. Nixie tubes?
A couple. But still with a very obvious gold mask that looks like it's been reinforced by something.
Excuse me, miss.
Yes. How can I help you?
Who's that one? We haven't seen that one before.
Yes. That is the Supreme Ascendant of Innovation. They are largely responsible for technological sort of goings on in Tarth. How long well, Master, you've been here forever, I'm sure. Well, maybe not forever, but for long enough to know. But mercenaries, you might not know, we have a small fleet of daggers, small airships capable of, all sorts of combat. They were our Supreme Ascendant's invention.
Interesting.
Right. Is technology, is that separate from, is there a Supreme for magic, or is that different?
Everyone, isn't it?
Well, ideally, all Supreme Ascendants are Supreme Ascendants of magic, but our Supreme Ascendant of Innovation has blended the two.
Right.
Magitech.
Could that be used for extended travel?
They do need to be charged regularly, and we need crystals for that. But in theory, if we could find a way to charge them as they move, there would be scope to go further.
Right, so that Ascended, what was his name again, sorry?
Doug should have come up with a name for this particular Ascended. But that's
Sorry.
Call him Steampunkus.
I was going to say Inno.
Inno's fun. Let's go with Inno.
Innovation.
Ferris Manus.
What
You know.
a convenient name for such a
Right,
profession.
so
Maybe
So
that's
Be
let's
like
taken.
call
calling
that.
me Steely.
I mean, we do have a cousin Steely.
Yeah, but he doesn't steal, does he?
No, he's just got great
He's an
fur.
accountant.
Yeah, he's accountant. A cat. No,
Accountant.
never mind. Anyway, so's that one that Ascended. So he's innovation, or they're innovation.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, what
So-
pronoun did we settle on for this person?
I don't want
them.
to misgender.
We got a
them.
them. We got a them.
So does that? So what you're saying is that magics and innovation sort of blended into one. So does that mean this guy also handles the teleportation magics, but then also airships and stuff?
Right, yeah. What do the circles fall under?
Yeah, what's they fall under? I'm just curious and just tourist.
Is there like someone of geometry?
Is there Ascendant of circles?
Well, to be fair, the circles have been a Tarthian asset for a very long time. So I don't think that Supreme Ascended Inno is particularly involved in their maintenance anymore, but they would have been the Supreme Ascended of Innovation's remit when they were first developed. Then they sort of pass into general use and are overseen by, our general public service.
How
Right. So
are we?
government. Right.
So
Ugh.
at this point, you is just too can't resist the temptation to find out what's going on at the hall, and is going to explain to Globe and the team that they want to split off and look into that if the rest of the team is comfortable looking at the Providence Circle without you.
I mean,
Why would we
Yeah.
care? Go do what you want.
if there's anything good, let us know.
Yeah, we can steal it later.
And you gets instructions on roughly where the Providence Circle is and says, so I will meet you there, or if I don't come back, then perhaps try to find me at the hall.
Well, friend, I guess you're not a master. Friend, are you planning to stay for a session?
You ask, it depends on how long a session is.
Well, see, this is rather the problem, right? If you're only looking at if your companions are only looking at the circle, we can get that done reasonably quickly, and then they can meet you over at Ascendancy Hall. You see, otherwise it will take longer for you to get there and do whatever it is you're planning to do than it will for us to get to the circle and observe it.
All
That's
right,
all.
well, in that case, let's all quickly attend to the circle.
Right, yeah, you're
Uh,
the one taking notes and stuff.
Yeah, right. You're
bows
the one
slightly.
who's taking all the time.
And says, "Thank you for not splitting the party."
Use,
Also, that would be fine. Splitting the party would be okay if you really want to go.
Use just antsy about missing important details, but then remembers that we might be progressing at the meeting will probably progress at the speed of plot.
Yes, indeed. So without terribly many other derailments or other Supreme Ascended arrivals, you get to the Providence Circle. It is a significantly darker room than the other teleportation rooms you've been in. None of the candles are lit. None of the circle is maintained. It's all a bit dusty. There are tables everywhere with little bits of parchment sort of scrolled out on them. There is a guard. Two reasonably sort of chunky looking mercenaries are standing guard here. But they're standing guard looking in on the circle, not out from it.
Mm.
Oh. They
And
worried
as you
someone's
walk
going
in-
to come through.
Yeah, is they expecting someone?
Quite possibly. As you walk in, one of them's like, "No, Ma, stop. You've got to stop sending me messages at work, Ma. I'm sure he is fine, Ma.
No.
He's just down at Port Thresh. He is not going anywhere dangerous, Ma.
Oh,
No,
no.
don't give us family history.
I'm going to ignore you now. I will talk to him when I see him." All right. He straightens up and resumes his post.
We got to stop killing people with families.
No, we've got to kill the entire families.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got
Oh,
to
yeah,
spin them all
that's
into
gotta-
infinity together. Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
we that's how you eliminate grief. You just kill everyone.
Does you believe this? Did
Um,
we just learn something about him?
kind of.
Okay. All right. Good to know. I think.
It's used.
Cool.
You very much walks the line between, heroic vigilante and just serial killer.
Fair.
That's a real
Right.
dichotomy.
So there's a circle. Can you nerds take notes already?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
nerd is taking notes.
I mean, I can look at it with my memory bank, and I will.
Me too. I will perceive the shape.
But just in case we don't perceive it quite as thoroughly as they need.
Okay.
Your
is
ad
good.
says, "Wonderful. Now, if any of you want any help, I have actually studied circles somewhat extensively, and am able to provide some insight if you need it."
Ooh,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
no, you should do that. You should
Yeah.
definitely do that.
You 100% is eager to be helped.
Wonderful.
these- What
about these
What about these
like
guards
so-
though? Yeah. What about the guards though?
At which point she straightens up, turns around, and says, "Guards, what's happening here?" And the lead guard replies, "It looks like you are studying the circles, ma'am. This is fine. You are ascended. This is like
Yes.
I'm paid not to see this,
Oh, nice.
so I
Yeah.
don't see it."
Yes.
Do
Our,
not
Delta
perceive.
Loader.
our resistance member is actually wearing a mask of the Ascended, which You
She's got
find
a
some.
Right,
wooden.
yeah.
She's got a wooden one, right?
Yeah, Mask is an
yeah.
adept, not a full ascended.
Right, not
She's a
a
shit
Sandy.
kicker.
A paper pusher.
But
Level-
Indeed.
no
Although,
level.
having said that, you have seen some people who have the same robes as her, so they would have been adepts down in Port Thresh, not wearing masks.
so can you roll Arcana with advantage?
That's exactly what I was going to say. So Arcana with advantage on that one. Gleb will also roll Arcana.
And can we roll eyeballs?
Yes, investigation, please.
Yeah.
They are
Ooh.
circles.
For
Look,
The
anyone
twins
else who's
Sergei's-
looking at circles.
Sergei's just gonna loom, and I'm gonna AFK briefly.
Okay. It's a 23
That's,
from
Oh,
23 from me for Arcana.
that's
Twinsies.
16.
23.
16.
Nice. Cool. You all notice everything there is to notice about this one in particular. You take extensive notes that don't feel any different to you guys. But Gleb in particular seems excited about some of the specific symbols on this circle and how they might match up to another circle that he has seen but you have not.
Cool.
Oh, he's been shown a slide.
Ah. So you knows about the one back in Providence, is what David is concluding.
Sorry,
Gleb.
Gleb.
Gleb
knows about that one,
Yes,
yeah.
Gleb knows about the one at the other end. So this is
Correct.
good to
He's
know.
had shown him a little picture.
Whereas,
Indeed. So,
as far as the rest
yeah.
of us are concerned, it's just another circle. But I guess it all helps.
Effectively, yes. You guys are like, oh, cool, another circle to draw. Great. But Gleb is a little more excited and animated on this one and seems to have forgotten about his blocked ear.
He's also a teleport nerd, so like he's into that.
This is true.
That's true.
And so
Alright.
basically that's everything there. And then your adept friend says, now, some final things. I assume, she lowers her voice for this one, that you're here from outside Tarth, yes?
Assuming that
Or
the guards
fade
have no
away.
way of hearing us.
Yeah.
Yeah. You will respond, that is correct.
From out of
And,
town.
And I therefore
I
assume
mean-
you're here to investigate the circles.
That is also correct.
I mean,
Feels
obviously.
like yeah.
Then you will need these. And she turns around and grabs a stack of notes from one of the desks nearby and says, this is most of what you will need to build a circle. There are some bits missing, I'm afraid. I couldn't get all of it, but this is what I have. And you will also need, and she turns around and picks up a small box and opens it. And inside there are little vials of glitter of some description.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is that sparkly stuff, what we saw in the circle before?
Ah, the herpes of the crafting world.
Yes,
It's
you
like-
need to throw some of this, you need to work some of this into the cuts of the circle to activate it.
What is it?
What is it?
Hmm.
To be honest, I'm not entirely sure. I get it like this, but it's one of the reagents that allows us to teleport safely. So I'm
What do
going to
you
need
write
you to
on
take.
the order form?
Where do you get it from? Who
And-
supplies it?
You
Yeah, use
says,
the fence.
you says, let us just hope that our benefactor will be able to, say, reverse engineer this.
I'll say he hasn't been good at much yet.
I would hope
Yeah.
so. I can give you 3 vials, and that should be enough for 3 circles.
Right.
Shit, that stuff goes far.
I mean, it's a good deal.
What
yes,
do you want?
we don't make, well, this is the thing, right? We don't make circles terribly often anymore here in Tarth. These were all set aside for and she pauses slightly, a different purpose. But we no longer have need of them, and so nobody's going to notice some of them missing.
What was
You-
the other
Yeah. You
purpose?
says, what other purpose might that have been? I'll add that we are here to gather information on
Is it
Tarth-
people?
Tarthian activity as well as the circles.
Ah,
Is
yes.
it glitter made of
Roll
people?
persuasion, you
Soylent
silver tongue
glitter.
devil.
Soylent glitter, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, I
14?
mean, it's down to getting ourselves a nice house now, isn't it?
We've all
Yeah.
seen Full Metal Alchemist.
14. She pauses slightly and says, there were expansion plans for Tarth, but on the island we have all of the circles we need. And assuming that we don't expand, as it looks like we're probably not going to in the next little while, we don't need these immediately.
Cool. You
As for what they
Interesting.
are, this is the crystal up top, powdered.
Oh
Ooh.
my god.
So it is. So it is people in a way.
To some extent, yes, they are animantically fueled, I'm afraid. But
This
it's
is
the only way to make teleportation reliable.
This is news to David as much as it is to you, and he loves it. Great idea.
Someone just solved all that crystal junk.
It does work without it, but it's more reliable with. So take the vials and definitely work them in when you're starting. It shouldn't need too much
chewing people
replacement.
And you says,
Yes.
we have yet to find to secure a means out of Tarth when this is over. We have a few ideas, but nothing solid. Do you have any suggestions?
Out of Tarth or out of Tarthis, the city?
Off this island, if possible.
Yes.
I see. There is a captain sympathetic to our cause down at Servitor Point. If you can get to them, they have a white periwinkle emblazoned on the stern of their ship.
That is very helpful, thank you. And would you care to come with us? Do you wish to escape this place?
I am probably one of the most well-placed members of the Defiance for now. I hear... Well, I'm in Tarthus. I hear things that no one else in the organization will hear. I think I have to stay for now, but thank you for the offer.
Well, in that case, is there anything we can do for you?
Get this out of here. Circles are one of Tarth's greatest military advantages. If you can take that away from them and make your own, well, that's a win in my books.
You nods and says, and finally, I gather there is a meeting taking place in Ascendancy Hall. I don't suppose you know of any wizards here who have some kind of device or magical object that could, I don't know, destroy an entire building? And everyone inside it?
That sounds fun.
I cast
That does sound
Molotov.
fun.
Unfortunately, I don't know that any of them would have brought them. I know plenty of... All of the Supreme Ascended have some kind of doomsday device, but none of them are going to have brought them for the return of the Supreme Archmage.
Oh, I left it in their other robes.
Yeah.
Yes, they're here to pay tribute and to ideally watch one of their own be judged for failure. So,
Oh well.
yes.
Is
We'll see
there
at
a
least
way,
one of them die.
Maybe
is
we
there
can.
a way in?
Maybe we'll find
allowed to
something we
watch?
can improvise with.
There, can we watch?
There is a viewing
Oh, yeah,
gallery,
well-
but be aware they may switch to, shielded speech if something sensitive comes up. And so you won't hear everything, but you will hear a lot. They don't use it as often as they should. She smiles beneath the mask.
Interesting.
Which you
Again,
can't
we
see, but
can't
that's fine.
see that.
Does it sort
I mean,
of
if
move
you
up
were
a little bit,
I
like
would-
when your cheeks go up?
Yeah,
does the
slight
mask
shift
sort of
with the
go up a
smile.
little bit? Yeah.
Like if
Okay.
she had a tail, it would be very obvious.
Because I
You-
try to do that when I've got a mask on, like just in public. I try to really scrunch my cheeks so that people can see that I'm smiling at them.
So you is
I
going
apparently
to
tilt my head when I smile. It's a dead
Mhm.
giveaway.
Mm.
you is
with my
going to say to Globe, and the group, but Globe in particular, well, I would say we have primarily what we came for. Our primary objective is complete. We could flee now, and you would have your redemption, and we would have our freedom. But I will admit to be very curious about what's happening in that hall right now.
Glelb is kind of scratching his chin and
I
says,
mean,
yeah,
he
me too.
he said he'd give us cushy digs if we got that last bit.
Can buy a better dinner.
Did he? I wasn't listening.
Yeah, no, he said we'd get a
Yes.
nice house or something. I quite like a nice house.
I'd like an house.
And I think they might actually let me onto Academy grounds if I get them the right info.
Who says, I suppose we're going then. All right, I suppose we're going to Ascendancy Hall. And to our friend, you says, and what of you? Will you come with us? Or is it best that you keep your distance?
She, again, the mask moves a little bit in a bit of a smile and says, I must stay here for now. I have duties to attend to further down the hill. But hopefully I will see you again soon. And she bows deeply. Master to Glel. Friends to you.
Very well.
So Sergey gives big silent nod of approval.
Wonderful.
Give like a little cat salute.
You is just going to give her a guidance, a little pat on the back of the shoulder guidance, just in case she needs to make an ability check anytime within the next minute.
Wonderful. She smiles and says, "Thank you. That's
Pleasant.
very thoughtful."
Pleasant tingle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops. Did not mean to
There
laugh at
is there a
it.
privy break coming up?
Beef.
There is. We're about to stop. But as you leave, and once the adept is certain that you're out of eyeshot, she rips the periwinkle from her breast and crushes it, throws the mask into the corner to reveal a face crisscrossed with lines of gold melted in, and a wicked smile.
Oh
on her features.
shit! Oh
The twist.
shit!
And now we'll stop for a break.
Oh my god!
The twist! You gotta
The
stop being so
drama.
friendly to everybody, you. Giving away all our secrets.
Don't eat everybody. Don't be friendly to anybody. Like, it's hard to be a criminal.
We've got no middle ground.
It
Hey, eating people is working for us though.
is.
Why
thank you,
don't
team. We will
run
be back
insight
shortly.
checks?
Yep.
See you all
We will
soon.
be back after this short break. Thank you for watching.
And we're back. Our party has just left who they have just discovered was Kovafen in disguise.
Oh, no, they didn't discover.
Well, no,
We
the party
didn't know.
didn't, but our players have discovered that it was Kovafen in disguise. The camera panned back as the team left, and we got a shot of a face shot through with gold smirking at you as you leave.
Oh man. Oh.
What a girl boss.
Are we allowed to approve? I don't know about that.
No way, man. I love Copa Fan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
she's
great.
a legend.
Ultimate good guy in the whole thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
A villain so angry that they sort of switch sides is very powerful.
Yeah, redemption
true.
arc.
I don't know. What if
I don't want her to be
Yeah,
redempted. I wanted to get
Zuko.
worse.
What if
Well,
she
I just wanted
just
to beat
fed us
everybody.
Tarthian exploding runes though?
Anyway.
Maybe. But all of that is well above your pay grade. You guys are off to Ascendancy Hall, which
Yeah.
is basically the seat of government in Tarth and in Tarthis, the capital city. But also, it's very rare for all of the Supreme Ascended to be gathered together. They're normally off doing their own thing. But as you gleaned from Vokai's sort of bodyguard, Kalahar has returned.
At
We
some
need to
point,
just blow up the
just
whole
before we
building.
head back, Hugh wants to switch into the robes and black mask of the guy we murdered the night before.
We can do that. That is perfectly fine.
But we'll keep Izad's appearance.
Does he
under
find
it.
another
Okay.
latrine?
And we got to find you another privy.
Yeah. Just do it
Or a
behind
phone-
Shirley.
Or a phone booth.
Yeah, does Tarth have Wi-Fi?
Tarthian phone booth.
Surprisingly, no. The Supreme Ascendant of Innovation hasn't quite got to 4G yet.
Oh, gee.
But, maybe one day.
Same.
Maybe
You
one
got
day.
a 3G before you can run.
It's true. Emergency calls only at the moment within the
mm.
Ascendancy of Tarth.
Mhm.
But assuming that did anybody else want to do anything on your way up to Ascendancy Hall?
Nah.
Wonderful. In which case, then you arrive. It is, again, a building fairly similar to the Panopticon, but no teleport circle at the bottom. So instead of what would normally be a teleport circle, there's another statue of Supreme Archmage Kalahar. Again, same sort of build, same sort of pose, same sort of platinum mask shot through with the other colors of the Tarthian masks, and the same sort of guard posted to it.
Mm-hmm.
Including this time a couple of Grand Ascended in silver masks, who are also tending to it and whipping servitors for the minorest of infractions. And not actually whipping, like magicking, cantripping, effectively. Because a cantrip is sufficient to incapacitate a servitor. Not going to waste the
Metaphysical
slots.
atomic wedgie.
Basically. But there is effectively like a concierge down there, so some minor ascended who are tending the desk, directing people to the right places. But it's a sitting day, and everybody is going up to. Was it the third floor in the Panopticon that had the council chambers in it? Doesn't really matter. It's the third floor here.
Porcupine room.
Yeah.
It is if you decided
It depends on where you're
basically.
counting from to some extent.
Yep.
But they're not all identical, so it can be whichever
Correct.
floor you like.
So basically, interestingly, all of the other sort of teleportation circles you've been in, there's been the glow from the crystal up above as it sort of filters down eventually towards you. No glow here.
No glow.
And if any of you look up,
So many
there's
ways.
actually a there's no shaft leading all the So as you go to the third floor,
I bugged out for a moment there.
that's okay.
Roof.
No crystal.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can't see the glow of the crystal from here. There is a floor between you and the crystal somewhere.
Cool.
And it looks like it's the third floor, which is, from what you can tell, where the Ascendant or the Supreme Ascendants are actually going to gather. Cool. So again, assuming you make your way up there, unless anybody wants to try and pickpocket any of the most important people in Tarth on the way up.
I mean, one
Considering it,
is
man.
tempted.
Yeah. Oh, actually, as we go past the statue, can we see how the mask is affixed at all? Like,
Yeah.
Sure, give me an investigation
like-
roll.
Held on with a strap, or
Is
is
it
it like
welded?
fully? Is it? Yeah.
oh, good, 26.
That is a 20. Oh wait, no, 60.
Oh.
Bums.
Not in any way that you think you could undo without like severely damaging the statue. It looks like some sort of magic has been used to fold the stone back around the lip of the mask.
Ready
Right.
chisel.
Couldn't
stone
do it
shape.
in a
So
hurry.
someone
then.
has indeed stone shaped a lip effectively to hold it in place.
Do you know how to do stone shape, you?
Not today. I don't.
Oh, you could.
That's quite
it's what
vague.
you say.
Answer.
Yes, if I were to sleep on it.
Right. He's
should-
got to
you-
learn the spell.
Yeah, you should have a think about getting that.
I very seriously considered taking it because you never know when you might want to shape a stone, but nope.
Exactly. Right now, for instance.
Yeah, the twins are going to point out how the mask is sitting on the statue.
And Yu's basically going to nod and say, yes, very interesting. I'm not sure why you need it. Oh, I see, I understand.
Yeah, right.
Because it's valuable.
And think about how much of an emotional blow it would have on the Tarthians if we took their fancy mask.
Also, you could. Oh, no, it's a bit big in it. You can pretend to be that fella.
Yu's going to make sure that no one's listening to this conversation.
We're stage whispering.
We're muttering.
Yeah.
Yep.
We
Stage
learned from
whispers.
that altercation back at the arena.
That's right. We're quiet now.
Yeah, we're cats.
Yeah.
Comes natural.
Cats,
The-
known for being quiet.
Well, except for when they're pushing shit off the table, but. Oh,
Yes.
Sergei's thinking like you couldn't use the mask to pretend to be that guy, and he's thinking, unless he's that big.
Maybe he is that big, yeah.
Yeah, do you reckon he is?
Well, he could be a giant, yeah.
Oh,
Find
that would
out.
be quite interesting.
It would be.
But then you couldn't do it anyway because you can't make yourself bigger or smaller.
I wonder what he tastes like.
I reckon he'd taste good. Probably.
Yeah,
I've never eaten a
probably.
person, but I mean, as far
No.
as people go.
As you discuss eating the head of state of the nation state that you are infiltrating, you make your way up the stairs towards Ascendancy Hall, and it is reasonably lavish. Lots of gold inlay in the floors. Of all things, a fountain in the center,
Oh, this is nice.
which is being maintained
Yeah.
by some sort of magical means.
And it's water,
Feature.
not blood.
It is indeed water,
blood
but there
fountain.
are a dozen or so servitors chained to it.
Has it got
Ooh.
fish?
Oh,
No
Well, it's
fish,
not-
just the
it's not
servitors chained
people.
to it.
it's the people, yeah.
Are
What are
they
they doing?
wearing Princess Leia hot outfits?
Bikinis, yeah.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, no, they are just wearing
No?
their servitor gear.
Hut Slayer
Oh.
outfits is what you're thinking of.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah, yeah, thank you.
Oh,
And
look at
there are-
that. A feature.
Indeed.
Do
And
you
in
think
fact,
they
as
think
you
humans
Yeah,
is
go.
pretty?
Do I think humans is pretty? Not really.
No. Do you think they think humans is pretty? I mean, they've made them into a sort of water feature.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Is decoration.
Yeah.
I guess so.
It's an odd
as you're
choice.
sort of discussing the water feature, Longoria, the tall, thin Supreme Ascended you saw before, walks past and just casually absorbs the life essence out of one of the servitors.
Oh my
Oh.
god, they're canapes.
What?
Blimey.
So he's just sucks power out of them, doesn't kill them. They sort of slump and lean on the edge of the fountain, but they are much worse for wear. And Longoria sort of shakes out his shoulders and says, I needed that.
I don't know why that's more scummy than when Sergei just fully eats them, but it is.
I think that is it's a quicker death when Sergei eats them. That's just horrible.
Yeah, we kill him
That's-
first.
That's fucked up. That's what it is.
Yes.
So there are viewing sort of stands effectively around the room. There's like a semicircle of them, all facing a tiered section with a throne sitting on it that is empty.
Oh, so this must be the symposium.
Right, yeah.
Indeed. And as you're looking around, you can see there's a handful of Supreme Ascended floating around or walking around.
Oh
There's-
shit, are there any more of those weird ass floaty things?
Well, there are 5 Supreme Ascended and their like most trusted Grand Ascended and stuff. So like their aide de camps effectively. But there are in fact 3 of the floaty porcelain faced things floating around, quietly like leaning over to Supreme Ascended, whispering
like that.
something,
Don't like that.
leaning back, floating around.
Ooh.
Interestingly, Vokai has left her little litter somewhere and is also floating.
Huh.
She's got no feet.
Oh my god. She's a ghost.
Why don't she
Definitely
just
has
do that
feet.
all
You can
the
sort of
time?
see the feet through the like poking into the robes, but she is just levitating effectively at this point.
Oh, she
Dunno.
just does not like the ground.
No. It's weird, isn't it?
It is. Mind you, if
and-
I had 3 hunky orcs to carry me round, I'd do it. Not,
You'd-
I wouldn't give it a second thought. I'd
You'd
never
lev-
touch the ground again.
he's- Right, I was going to say, would you be levitating or would you have the orcs carry you?
I'd just have the orcs carry me. I mean, get rid of the litter. They could just carry me with their hands
Right.
on
Every
my
time I
bod,
say
on my
litter,
person.
yeah. Think of baby
Mm.
cats. Yeah.
Cool. So the other Supreme Ascended that you see, so you see Inno, the halfling in the powered suit of armor, who is talking to some other people and sort of tinkering with something in their hands. There's a Minotaur who's not
Cool.
wearing as much of a Tarthian robe as the others are, because Tarthian robes don't quite come in Minotaur sizes in the
Oh,
same
see,
way.
he's got his tits out.
Well,
Right.
she is
Oh,
wearing,
she's got her tits out.
yeah, indeed, a robe that shows a bit more skin, well, fur than your average Supreme Ascended. And she's got her golden mask on, and a bunch of bones and sort of little fetishes hanging off of her at various points, and some really prominent tattoos dedicated to Ash Ruith.
Oh,
Mm.
she's got style.
She's just got everything.
Sergei does seem to appreciate.
There's also a nervous-looking kobold in a gold mask who is wringing their
Aw.
tail. So like got their tail in their
No.
hands and they're wringing it nervously, and like they have their
You-
head tilted like they're listening to someone and just like constantly flinching.
Oh my goodness.
It's
And he is not having a good day.
Whoa.
gonna be okay, little mate.
No, buddy.
I don't think
And then
it's gonna
other
be
than
okay.
that, it's just Vokai and Longoria and the specters sort of floating around.
And so we're sitting away from all of these high.
Yeah, you're in like a little raised balcony looking over proceedings, but like far enough away that they, you won't hear any of the small conversations, but you will probably hear the council conversations.
It's like that glass box in Parliament.
Yeah, a little bit, right? Like the viewing gallery.
Yeah.
Indeed. And it's mostly Ascended up here, but a lot of the bodyguards of the Supreme Ascended are up here too. So opposite you in the other viewing booth, you can see Vokai's bodyguards, the Goliath, the Bugbear, and Yuzok, all hanging out, talking, watching proceedings. And then there's others, sort of just an assortment of wizards and not here to view proceedings. And as they are busy talking, the halfling pipes up and says, Kova Fen is late for her own trial. I cannot believe that she has done this to us.
Seems weird that they didn't take her into like custody.
Custody, was it?
or
Yeah,
anything.
protective custodies. I don't know
Like-
who's running this magocracy. They're not that bright.
Yeah, like they flung us in lockup for doing nothing, really.
We
and
didn't
she
do nothing.
allegedly do quite a bit.
She apparently failed so hard that
We
they call all
hadn't
these guys here.
Yeah,
we
hadn't even
literally
stolen
didn't do
anything
anything.
yet.
We didn't do anything.
It's a thought crime, if anything.
It was the thought crime. We're being policed.
Yeah, literally.
This is the
Underneath
violence
this-
that's inherent in the system.
Yeah, right. Under this conversation, the kobold pipes up and goes, why waste time with trial? Just kill. Be done with it.
I'm with him.
I like that little guy.
We should have
And then
dropped him.
flinches as though somebody has said something sharp to them. He goes, no. Later. Take them later. And Longoria sort of strides up and goes, now, I may just be a provincial Supreme Ascended from down the hill, but it seems to me that if our esteemed leader had wanted Kova Fen dead, why, she would be dead already. We would have her head here on the hall floor. That means there's something else going on here. We are here to make reports, to give our tithes, this much is true, but there is something else that we are not privy to yet.
Because
Uh,
I don't
yep.
think any of us actually have any idea who Kova Fen is.
Nope,
Nope.
you do not. They are talking about some other Supreme Ascended who is apparently going to either die or not today. And as Longoria sort of waxes a little bit lyrical and gets into his provincial southern lawyer sort of patter,
I am imagining he is somehow both the lawyer from Futurama and the chicken.
I'm thinking of Doug Dimmadome from Fairly Odd Parents and the little Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm
The
imagining.
minstrel rooster from Robin Hood.
No, I'm full on hyper chicken from Futurama.
I'm imagining the guy who's in charge of the organ cloning company in Ghost in the Shell, actually. Tiny
Ah.
square robot with a fan. Which is completely wrong in all the ways.
They're all excellent references.
But
And I
just-
do know who you're talking about. Yeah, they gave themselves just the little box body rather than
Yeah,
your
yeah,
proper
he prefers
humanoid
that.
form. Yeah.
Yeah.
The show is a good one.
Mm.
And so as Longoria sort of starts up and points out that if the boss had wanted Kova Fen dead, she would probably be dead already, a voice from behind the throne pipes up and says, well reasoned, Supreme Ascended. Indeed, we are not here to kill Kova Fen today. We are here to speak of other things. And out from behind the throne and some hidden door that you perhaps, didn't see because it was behind the chair, comes Supreme Archmage Kalahar, a humanoid of, reasonably solid build.
You is going to look behind the throne and try to find where the Supreme Archmage came from.
Where the fuck did that guy come from?
Drama into that throne.
With
Right? Roll insight for me. Let's see if we can find the
Does he
hidden
do
pathways
this every
with advantage.
time?
I hope so. How big is he? Is this regular size?
Regular sized humanoid.
Disappointing.
Regular sized Kalahar.
28.
The curve of the back wall is slightly too sharp for the room that you're in, almost as though the stairwell at the back is in a false wall, and he can just pop out and do whatever, like, and just appear
Okay.
in the middle
I
of
love that.
session.
And he just
Drama.
stands on the other side, like,
Waiting
when's the
for
best moment?
Yeah,
Waiting for the moment. And the opportune moment.
I love.
As he walks in, the spectre type things with the porcelain masks all stop circulating and float to him and stand at like quarters on him.
Shit, they were his thingamajigs.
Getting his little ears on the ground. Yuck.
Oh.
And so Kalahar says, "Well, I did not expect this today, but we are here to talk accountability." And Vokai pipes up and says, "So we are here to talk about Kova Fenn's accountability and her failures." Kalahar smiles briefly and says, "Kova Fenn will be along shortly, and she will explain what is happening. But for now, unexpectedly, we are here to talk about your failings and accountability, Supreme Ascended Vokai."
Oh.
Oh.
And there's a shocked look on, well, you can't tell, Vokai's wearing a mask, but there is a change in the body language.
I was going to say, he does the tokusatsu.
Yeah,
it's a bit like,
tail.
I imagine there's a gasp from all around.
Suddenly very nervous that we're all about to super die.
Certainly, Vokai's crew is a bit shook. They're a bit like, what? Everyone, interestingly, except the Goliath, who is still surprised, but not as surprised, perhaps, as everyone else.
Turncoat.
And Kalahar continues, "You have allowed foreign agents
Oh no.
into the ascendancy of Tarth.
Oh, we gotta go.
Oh, that's not suspicious.
And Vokai begins, of course, to make her excuses that, like, no, I didn't. There are no foreign agents in Tarth. And he says, let us examine the facts. Your new pet Hydra was turned loose on you at the docks. And its handler was nowhere to be seen, and in fact has not reported for duty since. A tabaxi escaped from your dungeon, or from your arena, I suppose, only to disappear into the wider world of, or wider ascendancy, followed immediately by a prison break, by a bunch of prisoners given lockpicks. An unknown Ascended was spotted leaving your Hydra's ship in Port Thresh, and spotted passing through the gate into the Ascended quarter. A body, killed far enough away from the arena to not have been the prisoners, and yet still dead, confirmed to be the body of an Ascended. An Ascended who was, well, has not been seen since, because, you know, none of them have seen you yet. Taken individually, these things may not give us terribly much information, but they point to a larger purpose. You have allowed people into the ascendancy of Tarth. And of course, Vokai continues to stammer through some kind of explanation, and Kalahar holds up a hand and says, go to Servitor Point. Oversee the induction of the new servitors. This role should be matched to your ability.
Oof. Oof.
I will send word when I need you again.
Demotion.
Demoted, bitch.
Vokai looks like they're about to, or she's about to challenge that, but bows and floats out. And her crew go with her. At which point Kalahar says, now that that is sorted, let us move on to the business at hand. You have come here expecting Kova Fenn to be put on trial and presumably executed for failure. We have a different plan. Kova, and the back doors next to you guys open, and in walks Kova Fenn, not in the adept robes that you saw her in before, but now in full ascended robes, no mask.
So we
So we don't
don't
recognize her at all.
No, you guys don't recognize her at all, but no mask, gold lines through her face.
Question, how far away from us is she?
Let's say about 30-ish feet.
Cool, thank you.
Is anyone else feeling a bit tense?
Yeah, my foe's all standing on end for some reason.
I'm sort of expecting a sort of death which seems fine.
Yeah, they had a good life.
And as Kovafen walks in, and it seems likely that she's not going to be like executed for sport on the hall floor.
She
A
does look very
bunch of-
confident.
Indeed, a bunch of ascended and mercenaries sort of pile out, a little bit dejected looking. So the hall starts to empty a little.
Like
It's probably at
enough
about
that
half
we're
capacity now.
noticeable?
If someone were looking, probably.
Right.
Should we leave?
I think we should stand quite close to the exit.
Where?
Glelb is starting to lose his nerve a little bit, and he's like, "We should probably go. This is a bad scene."
It is feeling quite
That's the bad energy that's been created in the room today.
You
Yeah.
is just fixated on these proceedings, must know what happens next.
The twins are just going to slowly get closer to the exit.
yeah, very much
Sure.
so. Just gonna watch it
Kalahar.
for you.
Actually, you make an insight check as you're watching proceedings,
Okay.
not to find a hidden passage, so no
Yeah.
advantage.
I only get plus 10 on that, so that's 17.
17 is still good. Now, I would imagine as a changeling, there are certain ticks to your being, right? Things that sort of like involuntary flinches or ways of movement that mark you as a changeling.
Two other changelings, yeah. We
Yes,
might
sorry, yeah.
have-
So
yeah, we might have ways of identifying each other.
imperceptible to anyone else, but just tiny little ticks that you can notice that are like ways a non-changeling cannot move. Kalahar might be doing some of that.
Ooh.
Can Peace do a general check to see if anyone is looking at us like they might be preparing to do some stabbing?
Sure, roll perception.
Roll a vibe check, man.
Yeah. Roll for
Basically, a
vibe.
vibe check. That is a 17.
Contentment, you can roll as well if you want.
Sure. What
as
was
your sort
that?
of-
Perception?
perception. So 17 for peace.
Oh, yeah, 6.
Yeah, but
Seems to work.
you've got
Oh, I've got the 10 things, so
yeah.
14.
14.
Cool. So 17 and 14. None of the Supreme Ascended are paying you any notice. They're all fixated on Kalahar, who, they're sort of deliberately paying full attention to. And sort of glancing at Kova Fen as she strides purposefully into the room.
You is going to very quietly say to Globe, tell me, what race is Kalahar, do we know?
Oh, we don't. Some kind of humanoid.
You nods and goes back to pondering.
Where are we up to? There we are. Cool. So Kova Fen has walked in. You guys haven't noticed anyone particularly looking at you, except the specters standing guard around Kalahar are scanning the booths. They don't appear to have clocked you guys yet, because you're sort of, other than Sergei, you're naturally sneaky. And Sergei is just muscle, and there's lots of muscle in the Ascendancy at the moment. Not just muscle, you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's mostly muscle. By volume.
Yeah. Cool. So Kova Fen walks in and says, right, I think it's time that we discussed the new plan. And she claps her hands, and there's a slight wave of magic, and you can still hear them, but it's now distorted.
So like underwater sort of.
Yeah,
So
kind of
you-
the
No, go.
not yeah. So it's a little bit cone of silency, but more cone of gibberish. So what you're hearing is effectively gibberish.
Okay.
Okay. Not going
Sounds
to
about
be
the same,
able to
honestly.
hear what they say.
Feels like we should take this opportunity to maybe.
Yeah, you. Did you have something specific you wanted to do here, or can we get out before we get stabbed?
Yeah, it does feel like it's going to turn quite stabby.
It's going to get stabby.
And like magically stabby, which is
Yeah,
even
like
worse.
worst kind of stabby.
I've got
like
one.
when you-
I've got one spell.
You
It's good, but it's not.
It's not going to
useful.
do much against that, yeah.
you would be aware of being watched by these spectres, yes?
Probably.
So any spell you was to cast, if it has somatic components, could be a problem.
Might get picked up, indeed.
So what is it you want to do, you?
Yeah. Because we're not going
what
to
do-
overhear anything.
You will
What do
actually
you?
turn to
You do you.
turn
You
to
do
Dream
you,
of
you.
Contentment and just say quietly but very clearly, I want to burn them all to ashes.
To smash them all into tiny.
Yeah, look, valid.
pieces.
But how's we going to do that from here? So,
Yeah, is it
He-
achievable?
yeah,
No.
Grasps his
that's the general
chain
goal.
and says, it might be possible, but
Could
Yo,
you
is-
speak a bit
is he-
more
Getting a
straightforward?
bit psychotic energy from
He's-
you right now. So maybe
He's
we can all
breathing
step
a little
outside.
heavily over there.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
getting a bit
He's into this.
tetchy. Yeah. Could we maybe step outside before you burn the place to ashes? There's stage whispering.
I like that you keep reassuring Doug that we're stage whispering.
Let him know.
Yeah.
Because he'll use it against us.
Again, we have learned our lesson.
Mm.
He gave us a gentle warning.
and you is going to calm themselves and say, seems there's nothing to be gained here. I agree, let's go.
Yeah, because like
Right.
that titty bloke wants to burn him down too. So we'll just
Yeah,
give him this shit and let him do it, and maybe he'll let you
We could-
watch.
Yeah, maybe we could just put poison in their wine or something. Oh, do you think if we fed poison to the Servitude people, is that when they take the life essence that they'd be poisoned too?
Or maybe by like osmosis.
Yeah, like a frog.
We're having this conversation as we're leaving, I hope.
Yeah.
Would imagine, yes.
We're
Cool.
just
So,
give Sergey a little tug. Like,
Yeah, Sergey's following. If Greg is leading, he's following.
Glelb is indeed on his way out. Yeah, Greg, right?
Yeah,
Sure,
Greg.
Whatever.
I mean, you knew who I meant.
Yeah, correct. It's like Benedict Cumberbatch, right? Just
Yeah,
syllables that sound roughly the same and
yeah.
we're fine.
Big crumple bun.
Cool. Okay, you guys have successfully made your way out of Ascendancy Hall. As you leave, one of the floaty boys next to Kalahar tracks you leaving, tilts its head ever so slightly, but says nothing. And you guys
I mean, as if
sort of
those things would say something.
beat
It's
feet.
absolutely psychically telling him that it's got.
just
Probably
making a
heard
little,
everything we
like,
were saying.
kettle noise.
Yeah, like the whole place is probably magically bugged.
Yeah. Someone's
Magically
just
something.
transcribing us and like sighing.
Yeah.
Is it sent this?
We've all
Better
been,
than
been very
those other
clearly
four
identifying
idiots.
ourselves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
so far
enjoy the
managed to
contentment.
leave. So where are you off to now?
Right. Glebe, Greg, whatever. What are we doing?
Well, we've got to get to Servitor Point, right? That's where that ship is. That's going to get us out of here.
That is
So-
the fuck
Yeah.
off point.
Yes, that's our bug out location, right? So we've got to get there. We can try and talk our way past the guards on the transport circles and teleport our way there. Or there are airships over there.
Maybe we could catch an airship, since
That
they've
does sound
clearly
fun.
just said people in town shifty fuckers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you says, let's try to teleport, but not make a scene, and attempt an airship if we cannot teleport. That is my suggestion.
We don't have papers though.
Do we not?
Right.
I thought we did have papers.
I thought they only
You
got
had
us
papers
here.
to get you here.
Oh,
You don't have the requisite papers to then go elsewhere.
Right? And
could-
like us trying to teleport would cause a scene, would it not?
it would be very suspicious. Yeah, they'd put a read on us if we did that, if they don't already have one on us.
Right. And that other bugger with the beautiful orcs, she's already noticed us several times. It
And
might be yeah,
Yeah.
she's headed our way.
He's also headed that way, yeah.
And like if her beautiful turtle notices that we are again in the same vicinity immediately after being told that they have let in foreign agents, perhaps we would get our heads cut off by a giant turtle.
You explains, if we are able to get ourselves bodily far enough from the island that we are no longer interfered with by those bloody crystals, I might be able to teleport us all to safety.
So what you're saying is that perhaps we should commandeer one of the airships and just leave.
That's like
That's
stealing, but bigger.
Yeah, commandeering.
You says, one flaw in this plan, I do not know how to pilot an airship.
Oh, we're good at making
Oh.
stuff up.
Yeah, we're real good at doing stuff on the fly.
How hard is
Unintended.
it? It's full of air. It's got a steering wheel.
Yeah. Or we can get on one, go as far as it needs to go with the pilot, and then we could perhaps force the pilot to go out further to sea.
Yeah, we've got a giant crocodile.
Where?
You
He's
says,
good leverage.
you make a persuasive argument. Let's, if this works for you, Master Globe.
I just want to leave.
Yes.
Probably time to go.
You and me alike. Airship, Skydock it is.
Oh, Doc, let's go.
Right. Good. Let's go. And so you head up to the Skydock. Are you approaching stealthily? Are you just sort of walking up? How are we doing this?
Could we walk up all casual like?
Yeah, can we be casual? Yeah,
Well,
we
we do-
belong here.
A saunter with a bit of a whistle,
Bit of swagger.
while
Sure.
also being deferential to our little Tarthian
Master.
goblin.
Yeah.
Multiple masters, because you is also wearing a mask.
All right, yeah.
So many masters, so little time.
Is that a thing in Tarth? Are you allowed to have two ascended that are sort of
Can they touch?
traveling
they hang-
companions?
Oh,
Do
yeah,
they love
this
each
is-
other?
This is, they will often conspire with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So they do
Sometimes-
have
Do
buddy
they
comedy.
date each other?
Maybe.
Well,
I
I mean-
don't know.
Very possible. I mean, we could be planning to betray each other at the next possible opportunity, but for now, we seem to be on the same team.
Weddings are a great place to betray people. So, you know.
It's
Drama.
true.
That's very
Mm.
true.
It's the drama.
Mm-hmm. Good places for assassinations. Anyway, red
Mm.
weddings aside, you guys
This
are
place
headed up to the
is very
Skydocks.
red.
It's
Yes.
true. Lots of red everywhere.
Mm.
There's not a ton of people here. There's one ship that looks like it's probably small enough to be pilotable by a small crew, and like one mechanic who is working on it.
Good.
Okay. Can we access it via gangplank?
Yeah, there's a gangplank down, and the mechanic is on board tinkering with something sort of
Okay.
over towards the control systems.
We just walk aboard,
Yeah.
snatch him, bring him
You
inside,
is
and
actually
then
just
see
going
what we can
to
do.
stride on and say to the mechanic, you there, what is your name?
Oh, me, sir. I'm Scooter, but well, I'm Simon, but most people call me Scooter.
Well, Scooter,
God.
we require this airship.
Catch a ride.
Well, I'd love to give you that, sir, but I'm gonna take this nice and slow so you can understand, sir. This thing's broke as hell. It don't got the lift we need to go anywhere important.
Oh,
Where-
good. We get
Where
the
does it
newest.
have the lift to go?
How far will it go?
I mean, it'll get you to the coast.
beyond the coast?
Hang on. Starts
There's wizards there.
counting fingers. He's like, not to anywhere important. You'd be in the ocean.
And you says, you assume too much about my intentions.
Yeah, he just joyriding.
Okay.
Shows
He has no idea what you're talking about. He's just
Yeah.
smiling
Hey.
like an idiot.
Goes on to say, how does this operate? Tell me.
Well, see, I'm not supposed to. There's only a few of you guys who know how to fly these things. I mean, I've been learning to fly anyway because I started work on them, so I've reverse engineered a way to work them. But well, I probably shouldn't have told you that, but that's okay.
Okay, it's time for a charm person, please. Wisdom saving throw from Scooter.
Cool.
It is taken so long. We could have just hit him on the head and dragged him inside by now.
just gonna yell at him, like
Do
with
what we want.
with
Yeah.
a dagger.
His
sort of
slightly
going.
fearful expression is changed to like just genuine friendship.
Cool.
Slaps you on
And-
the shoulder and goes, "All right, what can I do you for, buddy?"
He says, right, show me how to operate this machine. Actually show my friends and I how to operate this airship. And then please come with us as we make a short journey.
Oh
Yeah,
shit,
we
you guys got a good one. He called you friends. That's fun.
He
anyway.
means it ironically,
Yeah.
in a threatening way.
Hey, did you know shit. Ascended Mimoto is a real nice lady. No shit, that ain't it.
Oh, you talk about
Senator
Steve
Mimosa
DeVito.
sends her shards.
And
That's it.
you
yeah, that's
says,
the one. Yeah, she's great.
Yeah,
Senator Mimosa.
yeah, he's a good egg.
by any
Philip
chance would you be
Marshall or
speaking
something.
about
He's a good
Ascended
egg.
De Soto?
De Soto.
No, I'm
Doesn't
pretty sure
sound
it was
right,
Mimosa.
but-
Yeah, Mimosa.
Yeah,
In
Debbie
any
guess.
case, she
Lovato
is the best
is-
master I ever served. I do apologize for charming you to make us friends. I was not aware that we are on the same team, so to speak.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine. I don't wear the flower because, well, if I wear the flower out here, I'm gonna get killed. So we just kind of keep it on the down low, you know.
Very well. Well, the friendship spell will end in an hour. I hope that we will remain on amicable terms after that.
Great. Well, let me show you how to use this thing anyway. And Scooter runs over and shows you which levers to push and all that sort of stuff.
Is this thing going to run out of power in the middle of the ocean and he's going to die?
And with that, Yu's going to actually explain our plan to Scooter.
Cool.
Yu's plan, which is to get us out of range of the crystals and then try to teleport us away.
Scooter taps his chin thoughtfully with a wrench and goes, yeah, I mean, that might work. I think you might have some problems. I don't know it'll get far enough away from the coast to actually get clear of the crystals. You might.
Tell me,
But,
does this airship also function as a water ship?
No, sir, it does not.
Oh dear.
This thing will sink as soon as it touches water.
That seems like a design flaw.
Well, why
Yeah,
does it need to
maybe
go in the
it's-
water? It flies.
I mean, why
Well,
would
maybe
it
you
not
should
be
do both.
watertight, just
Yeah.
in case?
What if you crash? What if you have an ocean landing?
Yeah.
Could
Well-
this get us as far as Servitor Point?
Oh, yeah, it'll get you there easy.
Oh well, then let's just go there then.
Oh, yeah, all right.
And Yu nods and says, all right. We'd still be very interested in knowing how this functions. Indeed, anything you can tell us about the mechanisms that make it fly, that are magical, technological. Please, we would love to know. And he produces the notebook.
Scooter lights up because you've got him onto his favorite subject, airship mechanics, and starts talking about things with no proper names. So this
I
here's
like
the go
this
thingy.
guy.
It makes you go. This one makes you stop. We don't use that one a lot, but you might use it a bit, but it's fine. These ones out the front, we've got some little cannons out there. Might be good if we get caught. But, hopefully we won't get caught, right?
Kind
It
of
would
feels
catch
like we
us.
might get caught.
Finally, as we're getting ready to leave, you will say, would you prefer to stay here on Tarthus or accompany us and be stuck in Servitor Point? Understand...
Just keep inviting everyone along with us.
Understand that I wish no harm to come to you as a friend.
Sure.
I want to have friends.
Well, like I said before, this thing is broke, so you're going to need someone to put it back together while you're flying it.
In that case, your company will be most welcome.
So I guess I'm coming with?
Please.
Which I'm always happy to do for a friend like you.
Oh my.
If the situation gets desperate, we might encourage you to leave the island with us when this is all over, but hopefully that will be unnecessary.
Excellent. Well, that'll be fun if and when we get there. Cool. All right. So you, Scooter basically runs you through shove off routine, get rid of the mooring ropes, all that sort of stuff.
Hold on to the oh shit bars.
Basically, yes. There are seats that you can sit in that seem to have a little bit of like gravity magic built into them to help keep you seated in the event of turbulence.
So this isn't like one of the daggers, though, right? This is just one of their smaller airships.
This
This
is
is a
basically like a
blimp.
small cargo ship.
Yeah.
It's not got a lot of anything terribly much going on with it.
Yeah, like a barge.
It's like bare bones, absolutely basic. And as you sail out, you sail past the Supreme Ascendant of Innovation's airship, which is a massive affair bristling with guns and all sorts of tech advancements, but
Does
also
it
requires
have
a significant crew
Tarrasque
to man.
on
and has
board?
like brass truck nuts and everything.
It doesn't have a Tarrasque on board, but the figurehead is a Tarrasque.
That is so sick!
Mhm.
I want the final boss to be the Tarrasque gunship.
Oh my god, we're actually gonna have the blimp Tarrasque? I'm not sure
We're
I'm
gonna
ready
get the
for
blimp
this.
Tarrasque.
Sergey
love
probably
it.
is though.
Wonderful. Cool. So, anything else you guys want to do as you're leaving Tarthus?
I don't know. If you had a bomb, you would drop it as they left, but you doesn't, sadly.
There are cannons on the deck.
Ooh.
I don't know if we should draw attention to ourselves.
Yeah, maybe we could just slink away and perhaps... Do you
How
really
fast
think
is
We
that
probably don't
there?
have... you is going to ask, Scooter. I don't suppose this vehicle has the firepower to utterly destroy Ascendancy Hall?
As if it's not got a
Shit, no,
magic...
man.
It's got a
well.
magic shield, probably.
Another
thing
day
is
then.
shielded to
Time
hell.
to steal a platinum mask, you don't get to blow up Tarth.
That's right, we's getting in trouble for even not doing anything. Again, we're being persecuted for thinking about stuff.
I
And
was
here's you trying to
simply
pick the gunship.
exploring the possibility. Now that I know it is not possible, I am not going to press the matter any further.
I
That's
mean,
what
you
we
could
said when they
probably
caught us.
shoot the teleportation circle and trap them while here.
I beg your pardon?
Well, I mean, the Ascendancy Hall is super fucking protected, but the teleportation circle out on the edge of town, that's not quite so well protected.
Yeah,
I
but
like this little man.
That's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, you turns to Globe and says, I say we do this.
wouldn't they know it was us though? And then that giant gunship would come and like blow us all to smithereens.
We'll be on our way by the time they realise what's happened.
I mean, this boat goes what, a mile an hour?
Yeah, she's not the fastest ship in the fleet, but I mean, she'll get you where you're going.
Yeah, alive?
Yeah, to the 9 hells, because
Oh.
we'll be dead.
Like that Tarrasque ship was speedy looking. All
Well,
I'm saying-
it's
I mean,
big.
we should do it if there's a way that we can do it without anyone knowing it was us. But cannons don't go that far.
We
I mean,
should
it's on the edge of
stolen all
town.
the-
If you wait, you can probably get it on the way out and maybe be out of range of everyone.
It's a strong maybe.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, if you're going to do it, you can drop us off somewhere. We're not going to play this game.
Right,
Sergey leans over to you and says, "Can you hide things?"
In what way?
Big things.
How big?
The ship.
Oh. Can I hide things? You says... No, but I can protect us from all magical attack for a period of time.
How
Does
long
cannon
then?
fire
10
count
minutes?
as magical attacks?
Yeah, because we're going to get both.
Eustace is good at how long will the journey to Servitor Point take?
Oh, I don't know, man. It'll be like 2-3 hours.
Nah, too long.
I mean, there's a reason most of the Ascended teleport places, we're mostly cargo, except for, over there who loves his ship.
Okay. David has a question for Doug.
Their ship.
The mask, the glyph that it can put down.
Yes.
How close, what range do I have to be from something in order to place that glyph?
Good question.
30
Let us
feet?
have a look.
D&D investigation noises.
Indeed. Range is touch.
Oh.
I mean,
Bollocks.
you kind of do have to touch the surface to put a glyph on it. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Well, that's not a plan then. You really wants to break something.
Yeah.
If it helps,
Respectable urge.
an alarm goes up as you're on your way out.
Okay.
And down on the dock, there is one of the spectre things with the porcelain face watching
Oh,
you
look.
leave.
It's one of those little guys again.
You says, all right, new plan. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible.
That was the plan originally.
Wait, so
Yeah.
where is the alarm? Like, is it going up at the Panopticon, or is
It's
it
going
on
up at the sky
docks?
dock at the moment, and then
Okay.
sort of ringing out through the rest of town in stages.
Okay,
Right.
so
Does it
we've
feel
been
like
spotted.
it's sort of aimed? Yeah, okay. We should just go.
Yeah.
We should go.
Yeah, we should leave.
Barbecue, we need to leave.
Okay, we
Perfect.
are operating the airship.
Okay, easy.
Sergey
I'll-
looks a bit put out, but what you
Uh,
gonna do?
You says,
if you want to take one shot at the teleport circle as you go past, I will allow it.
only if it's not going to slow us down.
You can make the attack with disadvantage if you want to shoot like full speed on the way out.
That'll do. Yeah.
Cool.
So what
Ranged attack roll?
ranged attack roll?
Mm-hmm. Disadvantage. And it's a building, so its AC isn't stellar.
Ooh, rolls are not bad. It's a 19.
Cool. Let's assume that is indeed enough to hit a building. Let's roll for damage, which means give me a...
Enough to hit a building.
it's
We're not
only-
stormtroopers.
Indeed, it's true. What was the damage for the little deck guns that we had on the riverboat?
I think they were 3d6 or something like that.
Perfect.
They were
Give me
the
that.
little swivel cannons.
That's effectively what you've got here,
Cool.
little swivel
Okay.
guns that you're loosing with.
It's a 13.
That's some pretty solid damage. You managed to cave in one of the walls and hit something foundational.
Woo!
And the Tarthus Panopticon starts to collapse in on itself a little bit. You're unsure if you completely totaled it as you sort of peel out. You don't get a good look on exactly that, but you did damage on the way out at least.
Okay.
Well done.
Congratulations.
Right, now we are definitely gonna die.
That did feel good.
Yeah, look, we're going to the great beyond after this.
I hope there's a big ball of solid gold yarn.
That would be nice.
Cool. So as that happens, and as you continue to argue a little bit there, the first hour passes. Well, actually, what do you guys want to do with your first hour on the airship as you head off to Servitor Point?
Full speed
Stay
ahead.
on high fucking alert.
Cool. Perception checks from anyone who's maintaining, who's keeping watch.
Yeah,
and then-
Sergey is staring
That is a
Contentment
25.
would like to. Oh wow.
stonily out.
Pretty good.
Contentment would like to sort of sit with his back to his sister leaning up against her and just copy down some notes.
Nice.
Pieces tailors. doing that thing cats
Doing
do
it
when they're
angy.
real
Yeah.
fucking anxious and mad
Yeah.
at the same time.
Oh, you will take a moment to make sure that the notebook is still on the person.
Use notebook?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you still got your notebook.
Good.
All the info in there. All that sort of stuff.
Sergey, the dice hate Sergey. I really am just. He rolled a 6, so he's probably occupying himself talking. He might speak
Loud.
to Glelb and be sort of like, do you get all that you need?
I think so. We'll see. Seems like we got enough, right? We got to look at all the circles. We got to look at the Providence Circle, and we know that Cova Fenn's still a threat. And she was, she tried to take Providence a couple of weeks ago, a week ago.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, that's the failure they were talking about. They didn't. Yeah.
Okay,
They
so
failed.
how did they fail?
Oh, I mean, obviously she didn't take Providence because we're still here.
Yeah, and they're going to send us to Providence if we get
Yeah.
out.
If it was tough, probably they wouldn't be sending us there. Or maybe they would, I don't know.
Yeah, hard to say.
Mm.
But that bloke was in Providence.
Yeah, I think he had said, he said some weird shit, and I'm not sure I entirely believe him, but something about big blue god stepping out and just stepping on the Tarthians. I don't think he's right. I think it
feel like we would have heard that. I don't remember anything. Did we know anything? Did we feel rumbles?
Well, we weren't in the.
Oh no,
continent.
we're sorry. We were in Tarth. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys were in a gold prison or somewhere.
Sorry, getting my continents confused.
Cool. So yes, first hour passes without terribly much going on. Second watch. Who's going to keep second watch for the second hour?
I mean,
Contentment vortex. Oh no. If
Oh,
Peace wants
yeah,
to, Peace
you can.
more than welcome to. Please go ahead.
you can look and I can sit down.
All right. I've done what I've needed to do.
Yeah, he's still
perception?
sort of vaguely looking around, but he's got a piece of bone and he seems to be carving it.
20.
Cool. So Sergey, you're carving your bone.
Yep, carving the
fun.
bone.
Enjoy it.
Not paying a great deal of attention, but obviously if something happens, he'll be alive to that.
Contentment, you have a relatively sort of problem-free watch all the way up until just about the end of the second hour, where there's a low buzzing coming from behind you.
Oh, you guys hear that?
Do we hear that?
Now I'll roll
I
to
mean,
perceive.
you're a cat. You would, surely.
I was going to say, you do now that Contentment's pointed it out.
Oh,
well,
that's
Sergey does, because I just natty 20'd, so that's a 24.
Hey.
Okay, cool. So Sergey, your lizard eyes see much.
Yeah.
You see in particular on the horizon there, well, not on the horizon, but way off in the distance, there are 3 tiny little dots that seem to be approaching you at great speed. And behind them, a significantly larger dot that doesn't seem like it's actually catching up to you at this point, but is keeping pace.
We are so
Yeah,
bad.
Sergey sort of wanders over to the edge and sort of peers in that direction, and his tail just sort of gets a little tick.
Wait, what's wrong? What?
I think they are bringing lunch.
What does that mean? In particulars.
He grins, and there are a lot of teeth. There are a lot of teeth. And he just looks down and replies, barbecue.
We love a callback.
Hang on. Barbecue means we should leave, right?
Right, yes. Yeah, he's
this
being quite funny in a terrifying way.
I see he's using a play of words.
He's doing something of a callback, brother.
I see.
But we should try and go faster.
Should we perhaps land and hide?
Right, yeah, they can only get us if we're in the air, right?
I mean, when you've got cannons, you don't really have to aim if you're leaving craters a mile wide in the ground, isn't it?
Right.
Gouda kind of pipes up and says, "No, they can hit us on the ground too. They're actually kind of bombers by design."
Oh, fuck.
Right.
You, says to Globe, can you fly?
Don't think I can.
What kind of a shit wizard are you?
No, look, I do teleportation shit, and apparently I can't teleport in here.
Well, never mind.
All right. So who's got a plan?
Right. So
Anybody?
we accept
Anybody
our
at
fate.
all?
Yeah.
Because this is not. I mean, this. I don't want to die on an airship.
Is Scooter nearby, or is he like in the guts of the machine?
He's kind of just shouting out from like in the guts of the machine.
Okay. Near
Oi,
enough
Skeeter.
to eavesdrop.
Yep.
All right.
Skeeter, what do we do?
Little
Well-
Scootman, how high does this fly?
Well, we're the problem's less how high it can go and how high more than it is how high we can go before we all like die. You may have noticed it's kind of hard to breathe way up if you've ever been up that high.
Why we
Right,
have
okay.
ever been up that high?
Look,
Yeah,
we're,
good
we're
point.
largely
I get that.
land-bound.
In the list of things that Sergei has to worry about, breathing is actually pretty low. He can hold his breath for a really long ass time.
Yeah, look, there's only no, there's only one human on this ship, and it's you. But not you. You, not him.
You.
Them.
You.
Okay, well, I would like to live, especially since you charmed me into coming on this ride with you.
Yeah, no, we want to live.
Yeah, good.
Help us facilitate that.
All right, I'll dig around in the guts and I'll see what I can find, but you might have to see them off if you can.
Oh,
How
good.
do we do that? I've got a dagger and a rapier.
I mean,
And
the
I've got
guns,
2
man,
other
the
daggers.
guns.
Oh, we got guns. We got guns.
Oh, he did mention guns, didn't he?
So you inquires, do some of us need to keep piloting the ship, or can we all get into battle stations?
Yeah, if one of you could just make sure we don't crash anywhere, that would be great.
Can we do that?
You was going
Oh,
to ask.
go thing, stop thing. Right.
Yeah, you says to Globe, do you have defensive or offensive magic?
Globe starts flicking through his things.
Checking his arms, you mean?
Flicking
Yeah,
through his
basically,
arm.
You
he
clarify
flicks
that
out
I'm
his-
trying to
his thing.
determine which of us will be the most useless in this battle to come, and who should therefore be piloting the vessel.
Look, let's say me. I've got a lot of things that rely on teleporting, and apparently we can't do an awful lot of that, so...
And you says, very well, please take the controls.
Wonderful.
Poorly researched that.
I mean, handing a gobbo the controls of an airship is fantastic anyway.
His eyes do light up a little bit under the mask when he's
Yeah.
at the controls.
He's just going to transform,
Mhm.
I feel.
And your speed does pick up a little as he starts pushing past safe tolerances.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite fast enough to outpace the daggers that are coming your way. There are 2 basic daggers being piloted by minor ascended of various types, and 1 jet black one with gold trim
Oh.
being
See,
piloted by
let's see.
Supreme Ascended Inno.
I was going to say, which one's
Yeah!
the Imperial tie?
Yeah,
I love
yeah,
this guy so much.
And as they close in on you and you prepare to do battle with them, that's where we're going to end today's session.
Oh man,
Aw.
this is getting sick.
This is not the boss fight I was expecting.
It's the,
I
it's
mean,
the
if they
air
get
portion.
If they get close enough, Sergei's gonna jump. Just throwing it out there.
He will
So-
die the way he lived.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Doug. That is tonight's episode of
Oh, man.
AntipoDnD and AntipoDnD. We will be back next week to conclude this adventure. See whether any of us get out of this alive. Thank you,
Oh, you know
for
what I've
watching.
just realised though?
Oh,
you
yes,
put us on a
please.
boat.
I did put you on a boat. It's
Oh, no.
all bad.
We'll see you next week.